Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakup, situationships, and limited beliefs. Today, we're going to get into why won't my ex forgive me? I've talked about this before, but let's talk about it again because it's an issue that comes up again and again and again in relationships and breakups in your life overall, right? Especially when you feel like, you can't forgive me. I said sorry. I apologize. I did everything right. A couple stories came in. If you have a story you want to share, go to writemac.com. Send your story, and I could review it on a live stream just like this. Or if you'd like to book a session, go to writemac.com. If you don't find the session useful or helpful, I will give you a refund. All right, let's get into it today. We got B on deck. You want to say what's up, B?
What's going on, guys?
Killing them softly.
Killing them softly.
Have you ever been in a situation where someone just didn't forgive you, friend, family, or dare I say ex?
No, I don't think so.
You've never not been forgiven?
No, I'm pretty...
You're just a good person.
Good person, yeah.
Squeaky clean. Says who? You?
Says me.
I remember when you... Why they won't forgive you. This is tough for people sometimes because it's like, I said sorry. I really won't do it again. Right? You think about when you're a kid and you say sorry and you get away with something kind of like that.
Yeah.
So number one, they don't have to forgive you. I've talked about this many times. People have trouble with this. They don't have to forgive you just because you said sorry, because you're so sorry, because you're crying, because you'll do anything to make it right. Which, when you think about it, is kind of unattractive because people look at it like, oh, you're going to do anything just because you're in trouble. It almost flips people the other end, right? Because they go, wow, you're just going to do this to get my forgiveness. You're better off, in my book, just going with a... First of all, if it's something you did really bad, then yeah, be sorry, genuinely upset. But then when you get into like, did you want me to go get you some food? Did you want me to go do this? Did you want me to book a flight somewhere? By the way, I've had a few clients that were in long-term relationships because once they came to me, they were in a breakup. But they said that when they got into arguments or fights, there was a pattern of the partner booking a trip somewhere and making it all better. So sometimes in long-term relationships, there is a pattern of doing something nice to get out of something, and that's developed. That being said, not everyone has that pattern, right? Not everyone's built that way. And sometimes people like the fact that they're in charge. For example, if someone's in a relationship where they've been the person that maybe takes more orders, takes more crap, goes out of their way more for the other person, and then something gets flipped, the other person cheats, sexts someone, does something wrong, and now you're kissing their ass, they kind of like that. Some people, they're like, wait a minute, can I prolong this for a little bit? Can I play this out a little longer? And I can see it as a coach. Like when I hear the stories and I hear what's going on, I'm like, oh, they just flipped the tables on you. And they're like, really? What do you mean flip the tables? I'm like, well, you used to be king of the roost, right? You used to run the show in the relationship for the most part. Yeah, that's who I was. It's like, now, payback. It's like, rake the leaves in the backyard, take the garbage out, do this. Not enough. You're not going to get forgiven yet. So a lot of times people, you think, oh, I'm going to say sorry, I'll never do it again. Not enough. I'd like to get you on the ground, spit on you, punch you 15 times. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. So number two, someone can forgive you but not want you back. That's a big one. Forgive you but not want you back. Think about that. Well, why would I forgive them then? I'm not getting them back. This is when someone goes, I forgive you, but I don't want to get back with you. That's a tough one. Because someone goes, well, if you forgave me, then... But there's a lot of people like that. It's actually a punch in the gut, too, because it's like, no, you got my forgiveness. I know you want that, but we're not going to get back together. Number three, what you did is still living in their mind. Think about that for a minute. So in your head, the biggest thing that comes up for forgiveness is cheating or emotional cheating, which is texting with pictures. And this is probably the most common theme of the day.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, with pictures, with I'll meet you at 8:00 tonight. Wear that short skirt. And it's like, you told her to wear the short skirt. You know, so what you don't realize is what's living in their mind is that moment that they felt crushed, upset, anxiety ridden, that sharp, piercing, cold air that goes through your heart when you find out someone's been cheating on you or upset with you or doing you wrong. And you think, well, I'm sorry. What you don't realize is you didn't have that same feeling that they're saying sorry for, right? Like you think like, oh, like I can just make it better, but you can't calibrate how much that's still relevant to them. And by the way, if you get smacked in the gut and you lose your air, right? And that's literally what happens sometimes when someone gets shocked by something that their partner, girlfriend, boyfriend does, is they get a shock of uncomfortable anxiety, anger, sadness, and that's still living inside them when you're apologizing. So you're like, I'm sorry, You never felt that feeling that they're not forgiving you for. Number 4, they just don't trust you. And for them, trust is big. They might not say it, but like, what are you in a relationship for when you start losing trust? It's like, all right, if you start to view whoever you're with as a liar, it's pretty tough.
Because how are you coming back from that?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to rebuild trust, especially if the lie is bad. Like if it was a lie that was built on layers, it's pretty tough. If it's a bad, like if you're like, you layered that fucking thing.
Yeah. You put some work into it.
Yeah. You're like, really? At what point were you going to crack, you know? So if your lie was intricate or bold-faced lie, like just a cold, or they didn't even, twitch when they told you what they told you, right? It's going to be tough. Number 5, can you see where they're coming from? So this is really difficult for a lot of people to do. Can you see where they're coming from? Why they're not forgiving you? Like if you did that to them or vice versa, could you just put yourself in, oh yeah, I would probably forgive them. You don't know that. A lot of times when I'm talking to people in coaching calls, they'll tell me like, yeah, no, I wouldn't forgive them probably. 6, what about space? So when you're in doubt and someone's not forgiving you, you've said sorry, flowers, cards, and candy, letters, stories, whatever, give them space. Let them figure it out. Let them process what's happened. Let them figure out if they want to forgive you. It's probably the best thing you can do once you've said sorry is just give them space. And literally space means don't be around the house or apartment or condo. Like get out of each other's presence for a little bit because you being around them is haunting their thoughts. So just give them some time. That's the best recommendation I can give to some people. And people, well, I want to make sure they're comforted. They don't want you around. Just be scarce for a little bit. Go to the mall. Go for a walk in the park. Get out of the house. Let them be alone for a little bit. After you've apologized, after you've explained what's wrong, let them process that. That doesn't guarantee they're going to forgive you. But what happens is when you keep wanting that forgiveness, you're actually pushing them further away, annoying them further, and they feel like you're not honoring their feelings, like you're cheapening how they feel. Number 7, this might just be their way out. Some people don't want to hear that, but you might have done something wrong and they were already at the door. In other words, this is their cue to go, and they're okay with that. And they're actually like, oh, good, I don't have to be the bad guy. Sounds shitty, but from my standpoint, being objective, doing a lot of work with people in breakups, I could see it clearly sometimes. Like that's why when someone comes to me and they tell me their whole story, I'm like, seems like they might have been at the door anyways, waiting for you to open it for them, and they just didn't want to be the bad guy. So whatever you've done has broken open the door, and they don't want to forgive you because on the way out, it's like, all right, now you can feel guilty about this relationship, which is very vindictive and wrong. But some people are like that, right? So this might just be their way out of the relationship, that you did something wrong, but they really don't want to be with you anymore anyways. kind of an interesting way to look at it, because it's not something I think you digest a lot when you're in the middle of,
right,
trying to get someone to forgive you. Sometimes they want what you did to validate their next move. So, anything to add to that, B?
No, that was all pretty good.
Thanks.
I liked it.
All right, we got 2 stories, one longer than the other. One's kind of a short question, situationship, more or less, and the other's a breakup.
Situationship.
Yeah.
All right.
So, hey, Coach Mac, I got a story. I've been broken up with my boyfriend for over 2 months, but we still live together, share the rent. I also drive a nicer car of the 2 we have, and he makes a payment on it. Well, that's pretty kind of him. We broke up because he caught me texting my ex-boyfriend. I was guilty of sending some inappropriate messages and pics. I like that, inappropriate, very professional way to say it. I really don't do anything about it at this point. I really can't do anything about it at this point. I said sorry, but he basically just told me that in 3 months when the lease is up, he's out and that I can move out now, but I don't really want to, as I don't like living alone and I don't have enough to get my own place. Plus my credit score sucks. All right. So that's you, and you. So if he's upset with you, it sounds like he makes more money. He's a little bit more, I don't know, established financially. So that's his leverage. That being said, he's not just kicking you out on your ass and saying, hey, you did this wrong. So he has some kind of compassion and empathy for you. I mean, I'm sure he can't physically do that if you're on the lease, and I wouldn't suggest he does. But you got a deadline. You got a finish line here. You got 3 months to figure out getting, I guess your credit score can't get up from that, but maybe getting roommates, maybe living with a, family or friend for a little while. So you got options beyond what you're thinking. The fact that you don't like living alone, a lot of people are like that. Like I said, get a roommate. You're probably gonna have to figure out the car thing too. On top of that, he just started seeing a new girl, and now he's bringing her over and watching movies. That's tough.
Yeah,
I've heard of this more than once. That's rubbing it in your nose.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious how long you guys have been together before the breakup. So you've lived together for 2 months post breakup. All right. He texts me to let me know, hey, I've got a date tonight. Just to let you know, we will be watching movies. I come home late from my job sometimes. And just last night, I walked into them hooking up, and the girl he was with was visually upset and embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if he has you as a roommate pretty much right now, even though he gave you a heads up, he probably should take that to the bedroom. So that's his bad. I know that stuff can elevate quickly, maybe with kissing and whatever else they're doing. So I wouldn't say that that's all your bad, right? I told her sorry, but after she left, I went off on my boyfriend to just move out and let me find a roommate. All right, so that's good for you, but he doesn't have to do that. You're the one that texted your ex-boyfriend. You're the one, you're in this lease together. He doesn't have to move out. So you could suggest that, but that's you kind of front running what you want. So he said, hell no. All right, well, there's your answer. Accept it. He told me if I wanted to leave, it's fine, but I'd have to also leave the car with him. And this is what happens when you're in relationships, and the economics, the financials are lopsided. It creates huge leverage in a breakup. If I could say and someone might think, oh, it's not fair. Whatever. It's leverage when it comes to things like this. He's making the payment on the car. It's not going to go with you. I asked if I could take over payments. He said, hell no. All right. Again, it's up to him. I'm assuming the car's in his name. Then in the morning, I caught him checking me out. We locked eyes for a moment, then he looked away. I'm thinking of trying to work through this. What should be my approach? Okay, my first question is, why do you want to work through this? Because you just want your place?
Yeah.
And your car? Is that what you're thinking, B?
Yeah.
Which is possible. Let's just be honest about it.
It's possible.
This is why it's great to write out your story, because if you look back at what you wrote, You don't want to be alone. You don't want to live alone. You don't have enough to get your own place. Your credit score sucks. You have a car he's paying for. So you have some things there that, let's just be honest. If you had a good credit score, you had the money, you had your own car, would you be out already? That would be my question. Or do you really find him to be a good partner, good guy, and you want to work on this? That's a different question to answer that you're not answering here. The fact that you locked eyes out of the shower, you know what? I believe you, right? Like, women in a towel fresh out of the shower, it's highly attractive to a lot of men. Okay. So does that mean he's still attracted to you? It sounds like it. He won't forgive me for what I did. He says he'll never look at me the same. All right. If he's a man of his word, if he's a stubborn guy, if he's someone that what he says goes, then maybe that's how he's built. He might hook up with you on one of these mornings out of the shower because you're in the house, you're a male, female, the masculine, feminine, all that kind of stuff goes on. But I don't think he's going to just go, hey, man, we're back together. Because if he can get it without being official and still dating that girl, on the couch, he's probably going to keep it that way, right?
Why change things?
Right. So I think that if you think maybe just a cheap hookup in the morning might sway things, maybe for a day or two, it depends on his personality, right? That being said, what you're telling me with the hell no's and him saying he'll never look at me the same, let's put it this way. Maybe he looks at you differently for 10 minutes, maybe an hour. Maybe you have incredible intimacy one Saturday night. But I think baseline's going to be, I'll never look at you the same. So he's always going to revert back to that. And for some guys, that's how it is. And for some women, that's how it is. That's how they're built. They're not going to forgive you for that. Some other ones, they can validate, oh, you were just texting your ex. It didn't mean anything. And that's okay for them. There's no wrong or right answer. It's just developing your own narratives or stories to go figure out what you're going to accept or not accept. And this is the problem. Everyone goes, oh, you could never accept. You can accept that. He's saying I can't and I won't. And he's also taking it a step further by, saying I don't have to because I can afford the lease. I can afford the car. He called me some names that were pretty bad too. Is there any way we could maybe get back together? I would book a live coaching session. I have to get a little bit deeper into, the logistics of your relationship. As of now, I would say you could probably get back together for a month, a week, a day, but he's probably going to baseline back and always have it in his back pocket what you did, and he's always going to throw it in your face. And when you're in those situations, you might get back together. It might be rose petals and wine glasses. It might be, incredible intimacy, outstanding, special. But then you get back to, you know what you did to me? Like, you have that in your gut still there whenever they do something suspicious or wrong. And that's the hard part, because your relationship won't be the same anytime soon. Now, if he's the kind of guy that's like, he's going to forgive you from the, get-go, or he's going to forgive you over time, and he's a forgiveful, compassionate, empathetic guy, and this is the first time you've ever done this, and he's a counselor, it's built that he can forgive, he's a soft soul, maybe doesn't sound like some guy that says hell no repeatedly is going to do that. So there's my answer for that. Coach Mac, I just recently broke up with my girlfriend of 3 years. My boyfriend of 3 years. He's 27. I'm 25. I wish I could turn back time. Don't we all? I would have bought the Bitcoin. Thank you. But I was one that did him wrong this time. But I was the one that did him wrong this time. This time meaning he did you wrong before. I went out with some friends, got drunk, and went home with a random guy. Well, that'll do it.
There we go.
Talk about a short formula for breaking up, right? We've been together 3 years. What happened? I got drunk and went home with a random guy. Oh, well, that'll do it. Sure. Thanks for getting to the point, huh? It's something I don't normally do, and I was just really attracted to this guy. Well, have your reasons, but I don't think that he's going to be still okay with that. I came home with a small hickey, and I told the truth partially. Hickeys, you remember those? You know what a hickey is?
Of course. Are you crazy? Yeah. Of course.
Have you ever had a hickey?
Yeah, yeah, like definitely in my teens.
It's like whenever you get a hickey, you're like, what is this about,
Yeah.
right? Or if you see someone, you're like, God, are those hickeys all over your neck? What a trash job, huh? That's karma, huh?
What a trash.
It is a kind of a bad, you know what I mean? It's like,
that's what I mean. Like when you get older, you're like, you don't want hickeys all the time.
Oh my goodness. I came home with a small hickey. I told the truth partially. We did sleep together, but I actually told him we just kissed. So now you're lying.
Now you're lying. Okay.
But that's okay. It's up to you. This is your morals and standards, and this is what you got to live with. I'm okay with it if you are. Now he's demanding to call the guy. He wants me to show him his IG. He said he can forgive me, but he wants to see if my story checks out. Brilliant.
Wow.
What is this guy, a private eye in his spare time? Careful what you wish for, my friend. What is it? The details are on the devil. He also wants to talk to my friends that were there. Oh my goodness. He's going to record the conversations. This is actually very common. There's been a lot of clients I've had that are guys that are like, yeah, I found the ex-boyfriend and I called him up. I'm like, what?
Found the ex and what? Okay.
Many times. Because of Instagram and these kinds of things, there's so many. Yeah, you don't have to get someone's phone number.
Right. Just look them up on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, I got a hold of him. We had a talk.
Right.
It's like, it's common. So he wants, all right. So he said he can forgive me, but he wants to see if my story checks out, which your story's not going to check out. Let's be honest. He also wants to talk to my friends that were there. This is a bit of a booby trap because number one, your story doesn't check out.
And if you say no, right? Like
number two, I don't think there's a guarantee that he can forgive you, even if you. So like, let's just say you go back and you tell your friends and you tell the guy the story. Because I've had clients that do this, that they're very clever and they basically go back and check all the people that are going to be questioned and be like, here's the story.
To get it down straight.
Yeah. Like they're like, hey.
Like they're talking to the cops. Like, you know.
Yeah. No, they're like, hey, so-and-so is going to call you. This is what I told him. Please stick to the story.
Right.
Right? But this is where you get into layered lying.
Just
and it gets
it back.
Well, no, it gets harder because now you lied once, but now they're repeatedly asking you questions. So you have to double down on your lies. And if you're a decent human being, which I don't know if you are.
It's going to be hard to do.
Right? I don't know if you are.
Yeah.
If you're a decent human being, it's going to wear on you. Because like each time you got to lie again, you're like, fuck, should I just tell the fucking truth? I've had a client like this before where he's like, dude, I finally told the truth after all that. And it's like, I think I did wrong. I'm like, no, because you couldn't handle it anymore. It's like, imagine if you lie about something, but you have to keep doing it. At some point, people crack. Right? I'll be right with you, Joshu. So he also wants to talk to my friends that were there. I feel like I just want to crack and tell the truth, but my best friend told me he doesn't want to know that. And if I tell him that, he'll never come back. What do you think? I think there is a high probability that he's not going to forgive you if he finds out the truth anytime soon. Especially now that what you tell him the truth, he's going to realize that you lied. I will say this, carrying out this lie with a guy that's, I don't know, a junior detective that wants to dig, he's probably going to put some things together. And if he doesn't put some things together, he's going to continue to question you. So like, what do I mean by that? That's how he's built. And there's people like this. They're truth finders, right? He's not going to be like, all right, I believe you, hon. That story's fine. No, he's looking for the truth. He wants the truth. He's going to, oh, well, what about this? You told me you were at the place at 7:35, but I'm seeing here. I've had people do this too. Look at your text, says 7:48. So what happened between the 13 minutes? People do this shit, man.
What were you doing?
Right? Like,
yeah.
So you could put on your little Sherlock Holmes kit and all that other stuff. I think if you continue to lie about it, it'll eat you up and you're going to tell the truth anyways. So You have a choice here. Tell the truth. It will not guarantee that he forgives you. He probably will be upset, but you'll probably feel relieved that you're just coming clean. Number 2, your other option is continue to lie because you're saving him the despair and the upset. And I'll be honest, I had plenty of people be like, oh, I wish I would have never known because it hurt me so bad. In that particular case, if he really feels that way, then he should take what you said at face value and leave it alone. But he's in a situation here where he doesn't believe you. And like I said, probably from his background or his job, he's someone that checks people's background or something like that. If I had to guess, this is what he does. It's like if you did this with a cop, right? They probably naturally would go into investigative ways to figure this out. It's like clients of mine that years back, I had someone that what do they call that when you look for people for jobs?
Like a headhunter?
Headhunter. Yeah. Thank you. That's what you're here for.
Okay.
Right on, bro. Headhunter. That's what it is. Yeah. And they like for corporate jobs. Yeah. Well, they actually have to look into your background because they're recommending you for a serious job. So they know like different ways to doc check you and all those things. So when they're in relationships, it's like this one lady, she was telling me all these things. She's like, oh, I checked this background on it. I'm like,
she was just
how do you know all
process?
Yeah. She's like, oh, I have this one app that checks all your Instagram to see when you're checking me and da-da-da-da. Like,
oh, shit. Okay.
Like, I know he's been checking my Instagram all the time, and I know that. And I'm like, so there's people out there that are good at doing detective work from their jobs. Yeah. So I'm saying, even if he doesn't find out, he's going to keep asking you tougher questions, right?
It's just his type.
Yeah. And maybe you have to test him to see if he does forgive you. And you have to ask yourself, all right, I got drunk and went home with a random guy. This is actually the core question you need to get to the bottom of. Is this just, and I'm one of those, and I'll ask B's opinion on this in a minute. I believe people can make mistakes, meaning that they're doing something out of character when drunk, especially when drunk, that they wouldn't do again now that they've put their hand on the stove and been burned. I believe that people can do that. Some people, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't believe that. I think it's individually packaged and different for different people. Okay. But in your particular case, you got to answer that question for yourself. Is this just an isolated situation where you drank too much? The guy caught you at the right time? Is this a situation after doing that? Are you going to drink less with your friends? Are you going to be like, dude, I'll never do this again?
I was just going to say, I was like, the behavior going to change? Are you going to drink less? And then, okay.
Yeah, because if you're like, oh, it's because I was drunk. All right, so let's break that down. Do you have a problem drinking? Oh, no, I only drink on the weekends. All right, so did you get hammered on the weekends? Are you going out with your single friends to single bars? All right, you're going to have it happen again then. So that would be the golden question. Now, if you were like, oh, this guy's just, so hot and I just couldn't help myself, and it's been a while since we've been intimate like that, you got to ask yourself, maybe I did this because, we're having problems in our relationship. We're not at the right place. By the way, you're 25. You're at your pinnacle. You're getting a lot of attention. Maybe you want to test that, huh? What's your take? Do you think that people in this, like you just heard the story, do you think this could be a mistake?
I mean, yeah, I think this one sounds kind of like that. It could be a mistake, but like you said, it's just different people. You have to really break it down. I don't know this person's whole situation, but yeah, I think it could just be a mistake, and you really gotta have to, like you said, ask yourself that question. And what was going on? Why did I do this? If
you were in this particular situation, what would you do? Would you take it at face value?
If I was,
like this shorter story that we just had, would you take it at face value? Would you forgive them, or would you be like, I want to talk to your friends?
I probably wouldn't do. That's just not my type to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to probably know this person. Like, I don't know. I'd have to see them. But
it depends on the
person. Yeah,
the personality type.
The personality type. Our relationship.
I think that's really underrated, actually. That first of all, you should know your partner, girlfriend, or boyfriend's personality type, and then you get to know them and you're like, I know you're lying.
Right.
Hopefully, because I've always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've considered myself pretty intuitive, especially after doing this work, especially after being a teacher for years. And so I've told girlfriends in the past, like, I don't get too jealous because I'll know. I could be wrong,
but it's just your own, like,
it's just my own confidence and way I observe things. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm going to go, oh, I know that you're doing this.
But you just have this like intuitive thing. You'll feel it.
Well, like, especially if you're together a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When I have a girlfriend, it's someone that I'm with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived with 4 different girlfriends. Like, it's different. Like, you know them in a different way.
Right.
So you know when things are kind of, you notice something subliminal in their story that you're like, say that again, please. It's like, did you ever see Menace to Society?
Yeah.
You've never seen Menace to Society?
I had to.
With Kane?
I had to have.
You remember Menace to Society?
God, I really can't.
Because how old? You're 5 years younger than me. You're 37 or 38 now? 37? Yeah, because it came out when I was like 13.
No, I had to have seen it when I was younger.
But he's getting questioned by the detective, and the detective's like asking him the same question over and over again, and he's nervously answering the question, and the detective's like, so you know you done it gone fucked up. You took the beer bottle from and he keeps asking him the same question, and you can just see like there's something wrong there. I'd say when you're with your partner, you can see like their look away, their body language.
The subtle,
man. It's like, no, something's not right there.
Something's off. I know.
So I think when you've been with someone long enough, you can kind of pick up when they're lying, and you're lying to yourself when you have that feeling. Now, that being said, that would definitely play into trusting their word. Like, because I think that there are some girlfriends or boyfriends out there that are like, dude, this is completely out of their character. But I would say that the people that it was completely out of their character would usually tell the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You'd hope.
You would hope, yeah.
But then the question arises, do you really want to know the truth? Do you really want to know the truth?
Ignorance
What's up, Skinner?
Is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, I think. I know a lot of people that are ignorant that are really happy.
Just like the Matrix. You've seen the Matrix, right?
The original Matrix?
Yeah.
Do they talk about ignorance is bliss?
Yeah, he's like eating a steak. You don't remember that scene?
No. Okay, so you're gonna play the. Oh, you haven't seen this movie?
Well,
I've seen the Matrix.
Menace to Society. So.
All right. So the steak scene's what?
Yeah. So he's like, he wants to go back into the Matrix and be like, a millionaire or whatever, and just not know about anything, and just live the life of being in the Matrix and living the lie. But hey,
what's the do you believe we're living in the Matrix now?
I could see it being a possibility for sure.
All right. So whenever someone says that statement, right, I think it's a massive generalization of explain the Matrix. Then I get the concept, because to me, all right, he's ready.
I've thought about this quite a bit. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay.
Tell me.
All right, if you just break it down, like, we've only been in the computer age for not too long, like, right? And we're getting close to like things in computers that we can almost, they're virtual reality, but it's very hard to distinguish that it's like computer generated. So like, think about, I don't know, like 100 years or 1,000 years or whatever of computer age, like where we are now. And I don't know, I think it's possible to create in like our world right now something that's virtually like you can't distinguish, like reality. So I don't know, I think it's a possibility, but I don't know.
So you think the Matrix has to do with being a part of a software program?
Who knows? I don't know.
Because to me, the Matrix isn't a software program. It's more of a program of like sheep.
Well, I mean, that's in the movie version, but who knows what the purpose is or whatever.
Oh no, Petty Betty's here.
Petty Betty, what's up?
Yeah, I think beyond saying it's a matrix, I think this is a big word, participatory. You're participatory in your reality. So what does that mean? What you believe comes true. What you see, you've already observed. I don't know if that's related to the matrix, but what you believe to be true has been programmed into you. Whether you want to, whether that's you like Mercedes. Let's say like you're like, oh, you've met people like this before. I only drive Mercedes. I only drive BMWs. Who taught you that? A commercial, having the car before. Oh, my dad was a BMW mechanic. Like everything comes from something else. Everything's some. You saw the creepiest video today?
Movie,
please, Barbie. But you're participatory in your future. That's an interesting thing to think about. Like your realities that are coming across. I don't think someone's programming those. Could be wrong. I don't think that's part of the program.
How would you ever know? I mean,
good point.
It's just a thought experiment.
Good point. I think that you're creating your realities with your beliefs, and those beliefs come from what you've been exposed to. And unfortunately, some people they've been exposed to a limited program. And then when they get into a new one or a new environment, they take the old program with them that doesn't work. And actually, if you put it into relationships, the same thing happens. You go into one relationship and you're like, wait a minute, why are you acting this way? Because Sally didn't act this way. Like, I don't get it. And this is where a lot of people have a lot of trouble in their relationships of you've been with someone for 7, 8 years, 5 years, 4 years. You get into your next relationship. You're like, rose petals and wine glasses. This is great. Oh my God, we had a great vacation. And then 7 months later, you're like, she just broke up with me. I don't get this. It's like, she's not Sally.
It's not like the last one.
She just took a hard right. And you're like, what? What did I miss? We were doing really well. No, she's bipolar. Sorry, bro. Or she's got multiple personalities. I think that's one thing that's underrated now. There's a lot more people with multiple personalities that haven't been discovered. Do you think you have a multiple personality?
Like legit.
It's a good question.
Legit multiple personality? No.
I think everyone has.
I think you have your different.
So you're
sides.
A golfer, right?
Yeah.
So you go out on the clothes that you wear golfing and your getty up and you guys, would you call them spikes or cleats for golf?
Spikes.
Excuse me. He said that really serious. Come on, dude. Don't
never go with
don't soften the word. It's spikes, bro.
Cleats are, baseball.
We wear spikes for golf, okay? Right? So you got gear that you wear. It's like you wouldn't go in board shorts like you're surfing on a golf course. You just wouldn't do it. You'd be embarrassed, right? So you got your golf clothes, you got that.
Right.
You also have a game face.
Definitely, yeah.
So you're in a tournament or you're playing with a group. Are you going to act the same way you would act at a family Christmas party?
No. Definitely not.
It's a different personality. This is where people have alter egos for sports and different things like that. So if you think about it,
that's a good point. Yeah.
You put on a different persona, right?
And
it doesn't mean you
become that person for however long that is. But yeah,
it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that, for things you have different personalities. And that's what's really tricky in relationships when you're like, who are you right now?
Because you've been conditioned, like you said, you've been conditioned for so long. Yeah.
Who is this person? All right, let me get into the chat real quick. So were you here when we talked to Joshu?
No, I don't think so.
Joshu has an interesting case here. He's got 5 kids.
This is recent? A recent one? I don't think so.
5 kids guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I just read that.
Found out some news from a mutual friend about my ex's new fiance boy thing. Oh my goodness, you're good. I'm wound up tonight, so I won't fall asleep like the other night. Better to be hurt with the truth than satisfied with a lie.
Agreed.
Wow, put that in bronze.
Put that on a shirt.
Better be hurt with the truth than satisfied with a lie. Let's unpack that a little bit. I've known people that want it, that would after they're hurt, especially in marriage,
they want to go back to
I've had this. What's up, Sam? I've had this in women that have been married. Oh, I just wish that he wouldn't have gotten caught or he wouldn't have been so stupid. I think in that case,
so the getting caught took precedence over. Okay.
I think for some women, it's just like, why were you so stupid to have me find your text? Or,
just wish.
Again, that depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because there's some women when they're in marriage or something like that, that they could maybe look the other way because that's their morals and values of marriage.
Yeah, culturally too. I mean,
I was going to say also that they could do that. That's how they are. Whereas if it's in their face, like don't. Yeah, I had a girlfriend like that. She was like, "Look, don't let me see with my own eyes." I was like, "What? What do you mean by that? Like, if you're going to do something or do something wrong, just don't let me see it with my own eyes or my friends." Okay. Now someone else would be like, "Oh, that's crazy." It's like, no. Well, she's saying that's her morals and values.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. There you go. My ex-fiance, they're getting married this Wednesday, is still sleeping with his coworkers. Man,
that's dirt.
You got to let this, man.
That's dirt.
Did you want to come on the show? Josh, he came on last week. Sam, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Beamer, Benz, or Bentleys? My pocket's never empty. Oh, God.
Is that a rhyme?
Wow, Petty Betty.
Was she spitting some bars there?
You can't play with my yo-yo. What? Who's getting married? All right, we'll give you the link, my friend.
Drop the link.
So what I'm going to do, though, Josh, I'm going to give a little, for this live stream, just give a little background of what I know about your situation, because B's dying to know. He's like, what happened? What happened with this? Yep. And you can tell me when you come on if I've got that correct. Yeah. So basically, what happened for him is that he has 2 kids under 2 that are his. The other 3 kids are not his, but he's helped raise them. Okay. So like
under
2, but because they're so he considers them his kids. Yeah. And I think he got caught a while back cheating or texting.
So either cheating or emotional cheating.
Emotional cheating, yeah, okay. And then now they're supposed to get married. It's his fiance, but she's actually has a boyfriend while they live together. She has a boyfriend. They have 2 kids that are under 2, I think 2 or 3 years old. So like babies. And she's seeing this other guy, and he knows about it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they live together.
Okay.
No, you can't come on. Sorry, Petty Betty. All right. Hold on. You all right?
Yeah, I am trying to figure out lighting because I got my kids asleep in bed with me.
All right. It's all right if you wanted to go just audio only. We can do that. Excuse me. All right, there's a little bit of a vision there. All right, did I get that?
Pretty close. The only difference would be that since we last spoke, she has started unpacking stuff and is fully living at his house, or his 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay. So where are you at for yourself right now? Where are you headed with things? You want her to move out at this point? You want her to stay? Or are you starting the process of letting this go? Or where are you at, bud?
I've started the process of letting go. She's getting married this Wednesday. They've been engaged for 5 days. So
did you, and so your next step is to figure out how you're going to do with the kids and whatnot. Have you guys talked about that?
she threatened me with child support yesterday.
But if she gets
So
married, is that possible?
yes, because they're broke. They cannot survive. Like he pays almost $1,000 in child support a month alone. So she hardly works. She's part-time. Like I've carried her, and so once she left, then she started taking the kids, trying to take the kids from me, and now she's going after me financially.
Jesus.
Wow.
Well, you got to go talk to 3 lawyers and see what your rights are, and start building your case.
As it sits right now for my state, if one of us has them in our custody without a court documented parenting plan, so my 2 kids are with me, and so if she tried to come and take them, she couldn't legally take them. However, it works the same way. If she has them, I cannot take them from her.
So you're in a good position to keep them.
Correct.
Sounds like, yeah. So what she's saying doesn't hold weight right now.
To an extent, yeah.
Okay.
Well, her plan is to go for food stamps so that way they can survive. And with that, what she had tried to do that before, but she had lied on the documentation stating that I was not living with them. So the state tried coming after me for child support. And so I had to put a stop to it. I went up there and I was like, no, we definitely live together. So
you've talked to one lawyer or multiple ones? Because I'd get multiple opinions on this.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna get multiple. I'm gonna
give
go. My best one. There's she's expensive. Like she has I think a $3,500 retainer fee, but she has won 99% of all of her cases.
Well, there you go. I mean, like I said, talk to a few, and because this is where you got to start accepting reality. This has gone to a point of no return, kind of. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
What's your emotions with things right now? Because last time we talked, you were kind of still trying to work things out, hold out a little bit of hope that maybe things could be worked out, even though seeing the other guy kind of playing this back and forth game.
Yeah.
Broken promises. Can I ask you, and this is not something you have to answer, does she have any substance abuse problems or anything?
I have learned through a mutual friend that they have been partying a lot, so I definitely know there's at least alcohol involved.
Because I mean, that's big, man. That's it's hard to get through to people if they're not getting back to reality.
Yeah,
if they're partying and stuff. If that's the case, so you're right now where you're at a point now where you're entertaining these. Are you angry? Are you sad? You hurt? What are you feeling, bud?
All the above. All the above. I mean, I've been watching a ton of I can't remember his name, but there's a diagnosed narcissist, and so he makes YouTube videos as a point of view as a narcissist and how he lives his world. And so I've been watching his videos, and just every video I've watched, I'm like, wow, that's my ex, that's my ex, that's my ex. So
has it helped you? Does it help you?
Yeah,
how
it
does
pushes me away from her.
Okay.
Because I'm sitting there and I hear what he's going through and the way he handles certain situations, and so I'm like, okay, that's her. That means I need to start pulling myself away from her. Because a narcissist, their favorite thing is attention. So if you start ignoring them, it pisses them off. And so it's almost like a child or training a dog. You give them good attention. If they're good, you give them attention. Whenever they're bad, you try and pull away. Have a punishment for them. And for a narcissist, ignoring them, that is their punishment.
What does the video suggest that you do? What do you get away? Does it give you some kind of idea of your next step or what you want to do?
I mean, with the way my brain works, I just kind of put my own steps together, and it's just to ignore her until she gets into like an emotionally neutral state, and then I can then talk to her from that point. So
What do you
right
talk to
now,
her about?
I mean, just in general about anything, because I found out through one of our mutual friends who I've actually known longer than she has. Um, she put me on a phone call with another person, so we had a three-way phone call where this person was letting me know all about my ex's new boyfriend, whatever, and his cheating with her best friend, and it's still going on. Like he works with 5 or 6 of his exes that he's slept with in at work. And so that's still going on. And then I
And
found out,
you know this through a friend?
yes.
Okay.
So that was a good phone conversation to have. And then at the same time, I found out this person had been at a couple of parties where she saw my ex. And so I was like, okay, without knowing, like, I don't know this person doesn't know me. And so I'm like, I don't need details, just break it down. And she was like, well, she came up to me, realized that her and I had went to school together, started talking about you and how you do tattoos. And then she was like, next thing I know, she was out trying to dance all over these guys at this party. So I'm like,
Not
okay.
So she's just in a different wavelength.
Yeah.
Do you think this is possibly, and I'm not saying this is true, because she just had a baby, right? Like your current
Postpartum,
baby.
absolutely.
Postpartum, yeah. I'm not an expert on that. I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting. I'm just saying that I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to speak, as some kind of official person. But it's certainly a possibility. It sounds like, because some of the speakers off the wall, out of character.
A few of my clients are like nurses and stuff like that. They work in the OB, GYN area, the Women's Health Center too. And I've kind of given them a rundown of what's going on.
I think my internet just went for a minute.
More than likely,
there it is.
I think we lost him.
Just on delay. There you go. You just were on. It just froze for a minute. You there now? Can you hear me, bud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were just saying that some of your friends.
The rundown. He was getting the rundown.
Yeah.
Giving him the rundown.
About the
So
nurses or people.
Yeah, they work at the hospital.
Well, let's do this today. Let me see if I can help you out just to relieve some tension and do some tapping with you, because I know you're just full of emotions right now. Are you holding the phone in your hand right now?
Yeah, I got it.
Are you holding the phone? You got to. You'd need both hands. You'd have to set it down. But this is like a tapping technique to just release some tension right now and help you out. So I think, especially right now with what you're going through, this will help you. You got me? You can see me okay?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
your
what's
screen's frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay. We're going to do our best. All right. So hearing me is the most important part, but hopefully the screen comes back on, because we're going to do these tapping spots. So one of them is going to be the karate chop. This one. You can see me? I hope. Yeah, I got it. The next one's on the crown of the head. The next one's at the side of the eye, at the bone, right where the eyebrow is. Okay. And the next one's on the inner part, right there. Patience is a virtue. Let's wait for a minute. And anyone that's on the chat right now that wants to do this along with us, he'll come back on, I think. All right, here he is. You can join in. And this is something that I've used for a long time. You there, bud? Okay, so top of the head. The other spot will be here.
Right there at the crown.
Yeah, and then the other part would be right where your eyebrow is. And this is going to help you just relax, calm down a little bit. Inside of the eyebrow.
Okay.
Inside here. Can you see me? And the other one's right here. Can you see me or am I frozen? Oh, man. Maybe it's not going to work today. Maybe I have to. Can you see me?
I can hear you, but your screen's still froze.
We're going to have to.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
My screen's frozen. Maybe it's just on delay.
Maybe.
It's kind of interesting. We're on different continents and other side of the fucking world. I am. That might be part of it. So that's the other spot.
Okay.
Right below the eye at the bone. And this, like when you're really tense, it doesn't fix your problems, but it'll calm you down. It'll calm you down.
Take you down a couple notches.
Yeah, you've done it. B's done it before
Yep.
when he's had different things. I do it all the time. Right below your nose at the dimple, below your lip. Right here where the like where your bone is, right here on the collarbone. Yeah, it's right there. And then the other one's like 6 inches below the armpit, and you can just use your whole hand. Okay, so those are the spots. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go with a statement. So what's really fucking bothering you right now that you're having trouble accepting?
I mean, the first one was the fact that she's not home.
Okay, and how does that make you feel?
That one just hurts.
Okay, good. We'll start with that. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the hurt?
I mean, I've calmed down quite a bit, but I'd still at least give it about a 7.
Perfect. All right, so you're at a 7 right now on hurt for that. So even though I'm hurt that she's not home right now, I'm okay. I accept it. I forgive myself for being so upset, and I'm doing the best I can with my kids. Is that a statement that sounds okay to you, or do you want to add something to that?
No, that sounds good.
Okay, good. Because like I always tell clients, like you can change the words. I just like to start somewhere with you. All right, so let's start tapping with me and repeat after me. Even though I'm hurt right now that she's not home.
Even though I'm hurt right now that she's not home.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
But I accept it.
But I accept it.
I forgive myself for being so upset.
I forgive myself for being so upset.
I'm doing the best I can for my kids right now.
I'm doing the best I can for my kids right now.
And that's enough.
And that's enough.
Top of the head. I can't believe she's not home.
Can't believe she's not home.
Side of the eye. Right here. It hurts.
It hurts.
Inside of the eye. I can't believe she's not home for her kids.
Can't believe she's not home for her kids.
I never could have saw this.
Never could have saw this.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Underneath your eye. You can say whatever you want about this situation, whatever comes to you now.
I'm mad that she left.
Mm-hmm.
And that she won't forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I want her home for the kids.
Okay. I'm mad.
I'm mad.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
And I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I want her home for the kids.
I want her home for the kids.
I want her home for me.
I want her home for me.
I miss her.
I do miss her.
It hurts.
It hurts.
I'm hurt. I miss her.
Sir.
Underneath here. And I want her home for the kids. Good. Karate chop. Even though I really miss her right now and I want her home for the kids,
Even though I miss her right now and I really want her home for the kids,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I'm a good dad.
I am a good dad.
I'm doing the best I can.
I am doing the best I can.
And I'm proud of myself for the way I'm handling this.
And I'm proud of myself for the way I'm handling this.
Even though I'm really hurt and confused why she's not home right now,
Even though I'm really hurt and confused why she's not home right now,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
I'm a good father.
I'm a good father.
And I'm doing the best I can right now.
I'm doing the best I can right now.
And I forgive myself for anything that I feel I did wrong.
And I forgive myself for anything I feel I've ever done wrong.
And I'm proud of myself for the way I'm handling this.
Proud of myself for the way I'm handling this.
I'm the adult in this situation.
The adult in this situation.
And I'm a good father.
Good father.
Good. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your hurt?
It's definitely drop. I'd give it at least probably 4, maybe 5.
Good. So it helped a little bit.
Yeah, I feel a lot more relaxed about it.
Good. So we'll do one more round, but I'll just do it quicker.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll see if it drops even more. But this is something you can just come back to that's useful. Even though I'm hurt right now,
Even though I'm hurt right now,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I accept what's going on.
I accept what's going on.
I know I'm a good father.
I know I'm a good father.
I know I put my kids first.
I know I put my kids first.
And I know I'm doing the best I can.
And I know I'm doing the best I can.
Even though I really miss her right now,
Even though I really miss her right now,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I'm still thankful for my children.
I'm still thankful for my children.
I'm a good father.
I'm a good father.
I do my best.
I do my best.
And I forgive myself.
And I forgive myself.
Top of the head. I'm hurt.
Hurt.
I miss her.
I miss her.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I can't believe she did this.
I can't believe she did this.
I'm doing my best.
Doing my best.
I feel for my kids.
Feel for my kids.
I hurt for my kids.
I hurt for my kids.
But I know I'm doing the best I can and I'm still a good dad.
I know the best I can and I'm still a good dad.
Good. I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I miss her.
I miss her.
I don't always understand.
don't always understand,
but I'm doing the best I can.
but I'm doing the best I can.
And I'm a damn good father.
I'm a damn good father.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt.
Right here. I'm hurt and I miss her.
Hurt and I miss her.
Come back. Even though I'm really hurt right now and I miss her,
No, I'm hurt right now and I really miss her.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I'm a good father.
I'm a good father.
I'm doing the best I can.
I'm doing the best I can.
Even though I'm really hurt right now,
Even though I'm really hurt right now,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I know I'll get through this.
I know I will get through this.
I know I'm strong enough to get through this.
I know I'm strong enough to get through this.
I know I'll put my kids first.
I know I'll put my kids first.
And I know I'm doing the best I can right now.
And I know I'm doing the best I can right now.
For me
For me
and my kids.
and my kids.
And that's enough.
And that is enough.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, I'd say I dropped down to probably a good 2.
Good.
I feel pretty chill now.
Good.
Appreciate that.
No problem, bud. That's how that works sometimes. So you can use that anytime and you can find your own statement and tapping. And that's how it works. Something's going to trigger you. It just brings you back down to baseline and gets you to a point where that boiling pot's not overflowing.
Up there. Yeah.
No, I know. It doesn't erase the problem. It just helps you calm down.
Yeah.
And then it also creates, if you do this enough, like in a situation like this, like in my own life, I don't have this particular thing going on, but like whenever I have something, I'm like, I'm okay. It's a nice statement to come back to in your head.
Yeah.
And it's something we can all agree with, right? Like
Sure.
that I'm okay. I'm doing the best I can. And really, most of the time, we all are doing the best we can because with what we know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, and come back to, I'm a good father. I'm doing that first. So when you have something come up in your head and you're really stressed or I'm okay. I'm going to get through this. Certainly been through a lot in your life because everyone's been through a lot in their life.
Absolutely.
And so this is one of those things that it's just the beginning of this, but you know, coming on a show like this and talking to some coach on YouTube, you're fucking making an effort.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you helped me get my last ex back. I'm the one that left her. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you sent in the story?
I think I'd sent in the story and we had talked a lot on the live stream too. This was like 4.5, 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out.
On my accord.
Ah.
She actually ended up coming back, but I had started moving on with who I'm with now.
Mm.
So I'm like, so that kind of is what started mine and my fiance's problems now, was because I ended up kind of being stuck in between them. I was like, there's my ex who I just spent like $10,000 for like mental health coaches trying to get her back. And you were actually the last person I'd reached out to. And you actually had the best advice for her on how to get her back.
And I didn't get the fucking 10 grand, man. I'm going to start tapping.
Well, it first started out by seeing every therapist, counselor, psychologist in my area. I don't have insurance, so it's all cash out of my pocket.
I'm with you. I'm just joking around.
Yeah.
So what was the advice, though, that I gave you that you think was good?
What was that? Dude, I don't even have the emails anymore because my fiance started going through my emails and was like, oh, you've hired all these relationship coaches to get your ex back, but you're with me. I'm like, you need to calm your ass down.
It's like, you're the one that won.
Yeah. Which
relationships are crazy. It's crazy how they turn out like that.
Yeah, and it ended up ended up being that like jealousy factor
With the one you're with now or the one before?
with the one before, because I had done the whole no contact. That that actually ended up pushing away into it even further. I tried doing what was it? There's somebody out there that said to write like an affirmation letter
Okay.
to be like, here's all my problem, but I still love you. That
Oh,
got
God.
thrown in the trash. Like
One I
that
haven't
got
heard of.
yeah, that got
That'd work
wadded up,
good for
thrown in
someone
the trash.
that's good for pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because
terrible.
that's where you get into personality types and stuff is the pity thing. Like some people, some people will take pity, but women don't usually like pity. They can have pity, but they won't be attracted
They're
to
not
you.
attracted to pity.
Yeah,
No.
10 out of 10 don't recommend. What was there's just so I ended up like I went to the gym for a while to try and like bulk up. Yeah, she didn't give a shit about that. Like everything, stepping out of my boundaries, everything did not work. The thing that worked for her was the jealousy factor because I was moving on. So she didn't have that hold of me. So that's what worked for her. For this one, it's not going to be the jealousy factor because of the boundaries I'd crossed with other women before. With this one, I feel like what it's going to take is for her to realize her mistakes.
Which isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I was actually thinking about giving her new husband a nice little good luck gift.
Good luck gift? I don't know if I want to know what that is.
It's very spiteful and revenge type thing.
Well, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I've thought about it. I've had people
Okay.
tell me to do it, but then I'm like, no, drama causes trauma, so I'm not going to do that.
I've never heard that term, but I would just say it doesn't have a good shelf life. Like and the ironic thing is his friends will be like, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, do that shit. Because it's like, let us get our fucking popcorn, dude.
It's not going to affect them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they feel like it'll be a shortcut and they just want you to feel better. And they think, oh, yeah, I never liked her anyways or something like that. And I'm not saying it to be nice. It's just that what happens when you do vengeful things is that where's it end?
It doesn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Go tit for tat type of thing.
I always remember this story. I don't know if you've heard me tell this story because a lot of my stories are repetitive. B will be like, yeah, I know that one already.
God damn it, Mac.
But I was staying at this apartment complex. I was renting my house out for Airbnb, and I was staying at this apartment complex that had like, I don't know, 30 units or something. It wasn't a huge place, but has a lot of people in the parking lot and things like that going on in front of your place. You've probably been in one of these places before. And so some drama's going out and happening out in front of this apartment, like right in front of the parking lot, right in front of the unit I'm staying in. And there's a guy, and this is the literal truth. One of the guys has like a Mercedes, like newer, sporty, one of the most expensive model Mercedes. You know how there's different kinds, but like it was, like $100,000 car, and the guy's like slicked up, really clean,
fit the part.
Yeah, fit the part. It looks like he works out and does some gym work or something like that. And the other guy, a little bit taller, a little bit more like a lurch character, kind of like this, and he's with the woman, and they were Russian, so they were speaking Russian. So it's just body language I'm watching, but I just have like a view in front of my place. I'm like, all right, and they're yelling at each other, right? And the girl's on the side with the camera, like the video phone. And the clean cut guy that's a little buffer is like, da-da-da-da, and the other guy's like taller, skinnier, but like talking shit. So then the fight starts. The dude that's cleaner cut with the Mercedes starts doing some martial arts shit, does like a fucking jump kick, fucking throws the guy into the, into the fence. Like you could tell this guy's a trained fighter.
Like, yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. And he was a little buffer. So he kicks the guy into the, thing and like does some moves and shit. I'm like, oh shit, dude. The skinnier tall guy pulls out like a pocket knife. You know this story? He pulls out like a pocket knife and he's like this. And the other guy's like, like the guy that's kicking his ass is like I'm out, you know, even though the knife's only this big.
Like, we didn't sign up for that.
The guy's like, oh, you don't want to fight anymore? Like, yeah, like going after him. And the guy runs away because he doesn't want to get stabbed with this little 3-inch blade or whatever it was, right? I was like, to myself, just watching, I was like, that was cheap. You know what I mean? But whatever. None of my business. I don't want to get involved. This guy comes back around the corner about a minute later with like a pickaxe from a construction site. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Like, he was ready to
And the guy goes like this, starts walking back. And the other guy goes, you could just see his face just drop. Right? Like, and I'm like, this is about to get really, you know what I mean? Because, right? Because, and the guy has his little knife. And then the guy, like, he goes from scared to like, all right, come on. I'm like, what the hell? He's going to egg this guy on? Finally, the security guard who was staying out of it's like, I'm calling the police. And they leave. But my point is like, where does it end? Yeah. Like, you pulled a little knife on this guy. So this guy's like, fuck it. You want to pull, you know what I mean? And in the moment, I always remember, because it's like one of those things you're like I said, someone's going to go deeper. Right. You go for the kneecap, someone's going for your, you know, harder. And that's the part I think sometimes with revenge, when you start that chain, like how far are you willing to go?
Especially with kids too.
Yeah. So it's good to honor those thoughts as a human being and kind of play with them. Because
I think we've all had thoughts.
And it's funny how creative the mind is, right? You're like, I got
one. I mean, I've got ADHD, so I got plenty of thoughts to go through.
They're running.
You know, so I think bring them to the surface, you know, tell your friends or something like that. But then just, you know, you're old enough now, you got kids, so you got more vulnerabilities is what I would say.
Yeah.
So, and you want to be an example for your kids too, you know, like you don't want to be in a situation.
That's why I had to stop it tonight was she. So I had made a post on Facebook pretty much saying there's two sides of the story. There's the truth, and then there's your people that are just doing things for validation. Well, she had a few people that had screenshot it, sent it to her, and so she tried jumping down my throat. So I just kind of ignored her. And then she kept going on, like sending me text after text. And I'm just like, I'm just going to ignore this. And then I was talking with a couple of friends about what was going on. They're like, oh, you should just say this. And I'm like, there's two things to this. One, she has the advantage because we're in a mother state. So the second she gets my kids, she can keep them. And she can go to a lawyer, she can go to the courthouse, she can go wherever, and they're going to side with her no matter what until I get subpoenaed to come into court to prove my part. So there's that, and I'm like, and two, if she is a true narcissist, if I ignore her, it's just going to enrage her more until she realizes she's not able to control me anymore, and she's going to eventually give up. So I just, as badly as much as I wanted to get into it, I just started talking with friends, and I was like, here's my thought process. I'm going to talk with you about it, not with her. Good. And that helped. That kept me calm.
Good. You got a tough situation, man. Like this is not one of those situations that's like, you know, oh, let me sort this out for you. This is tough. You got to take this day by day, and then you also got to start looking out, like I said, the lawyer thing and looking at what you're going to do for yourself and for your family and look at the angles for that. But she's at a point now where it sounds like she doesn't know she's doing it, but she's trying to hurt you.
Oh, she knows.
Like when you post things online and you know that like those are very vindictive things that are it's very immature. But like you said, getting a reaction, and it's like being entangled in a net. The moment you react, you're more entangled. To me, like a real narcissist, you don't know you've been entangled with them until you get out of it and you feel like you can breathe. You're like, oh shit. Like
I've been doing it for so long. Like
I've been choked for a year. Like it's not something that you're going to win that battle because they go lower and lower.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's exactly what's been going on for our entire relationship pretty much. So like I actually spoke with a friend about this. When she was married before, her husband controlled her like crazy. Like no makeup. If she wore a dress, it had to be below her knees with Spanx on
Oh God.
underneath it, towel or a t-shirt and a bathing suit sort of thing. Never got her hair done, never did her nails. And so I introduced her to that lifestyle. I was like, if you're gonna be comfortable, be comfortable. Like I was like, you want to wear a two-piece? Like, come on, let's go find the skimpiest one you can legally get away with. And started showing her off to all my friends, like proud of who she was. And I'm like, here's what freedom looks like. And she took it too far, apparently.
Well, it's not. I mean,
Well, not
what's
necessarily.
interesting. Well, what's interesting about people, right? Like she's got a whole timeline of events and things that have shaped her, and like that's a
Mhm,
classic case where you got someone that's extremely controlled and then they overcompensate, right?
mhm.
Like so that it happens with a lot of people, right? It's like kids that went to Catholic school end up the most fucked up sometimes.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
like any of your friends from private school got in the most trouble or something like that, right? Or I remember kids coming over when I was a kid and we were allowed to drink soda like Coke or fruit punch, and they would want to drink the whole fucking 2 liter. And I'd be like,
Mhm.
dude, we don't get root beer at my house. It's like, all right, have as much as you want.
Yeah.
It's like,
Go for it.
Yep.
so, I mean, people do this all the time with the overcompensating, you know, and it sounds like that's what she's been doing repeatedly. She hasn't caught her breath to like, it's going to catch up with her though on her own. Because even if you, this is what I believe, even if you don't believe in karma, and we all have some karma, all of us,
Oh yeah.
you know, even if you're a great person now, you've done some shit in your life. I've done stuff, you know what I mean, that you're not proud of if you're human. That's why some of these influencers now, I'm like, God, you guys just present yourself as just fucking bulletproof, you know.
Mhm.
But if you don't believe in karma, then you're gonna get humbled. It's the same thing, and everyone gets humbled financially, relationship wise, and then it's actually a really good point in your life because when you get humbled, you're like, all right, I see both sides of things now. I'm
Mhm.
on both ends of something that's happened to someone else or me. That's a lot of growth. And right now, you know, it sounds like you and your past relationships have not been great to some women, not as bad as this situation. Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
not saying that for you.
No, you.
I'm not right.
It's definitely it peaked and became like it's essentially like she became the best I've ever been with in every single aspect of my entire life. Like she's been the sexiest, the most beautiful, the most caring, the most trustworthy that I thought of. She gave me children, like we were gonna be getting married. I've never been married. And so I'm like, I get one marriage in my life, that is it. You're stuck with me or I'm dead. You know, pretty much one of those things. And then once I peaked and she became the best, then it all kind of just like toppled down and she became my worst.
Mm.
So if we didn't have kids, it'd be easy to walk away.
Man, it's, like I said, come back. I'm doing the best I can. I'm gonna put my kids
Oh
first.
yeah.
Have that mantra in your head. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna deal with it and and you know what? In lieu of that, the interesting thing about that statement, and you can correct me if you don't feel like it's true. I don't have, but like you're thankful for the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the one end, it's kind of an interesting thing to look at is that, yeah, that would make things easier, but you wouldn't trade it.
Oh no. Oh no.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't make it make it easier in this situation, but you're not saying like, oh, I want to go back.
No.
So, right. And so,
No,
you
like
know, all
they yeah, I would not trade it for the world.
and so when you get upset, when that enters your mind, because there's all kinds of weird thoughts coming through your mind and stuff like that, because this is a crazy situation. Be like, I'm still thankful for my kids. I'm
Oh yeah.
still, you know, like this is a big problem right now, but I'm going to get through it. And like
Yeah.
self-talk is big for you right now, man, because
Oh
you're going
yeah.
to be, especially with your situation.
Like I'll have people come up, and they'll kind of be like, "Oh, what's going on? Are you doing okay?" And I'll be honest with them. I'm like, "No, I'm not doing okay, but I'm holding
Good.
on for my kids." Like I always make sure my kids are number one inside any conversation.
And that's
So,
enough.
yeah.
And that's enough. This is just the beginning of what's going on and how it's, and there's not going to be any quick answer to it, but you're going to get through it.
Oh,
You're gonna get
absolutely.
through it. You just got to keep showing up for it, bro. This is tough, man. This is tough. And like, my heart goes out to you on the situation, but you know what? Life's a marathon, man. You're at one of those points where it's like, shit.
Yeah.
And I know someone's told me that before when I've been in bad stages. Oh, life's a roller coaster. It's like, fuck you.
Make a pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? But then later on, someone's going to be in the situation. You're going to be helpful.
Yep.
So I hope that tapping helps you a little bit.
Yeah, I will
Like,
definitely be using that.
Yeah. And along the way, if you need my help, do you have any closing questions?
No. I'll go back to watching you live. I appreciate it.
All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you too, Josh. And,
Awesome.
appreciate you being a good dad and sharing what you shared. And, take it day by day, man. Like, and before you go to bed, say, I forgive myself. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm a good dad. And that's enough.
Yeah.
And that's enough. All right, bud. I'll talk to you.
All right, man.
Take it easy, man.
All right. Okay. Anyone else on the stream have any questions or situationships? Thanks, Josh, for sharing. My thoughts and prayers go out with you. And that's a good example of how EFT works. If someone's curious about the tapping, about how we do it, and it's actually good to do it in groups and have good intentions and thoughts. And you can kind of feel when someone calms down a little bit. It's really a powerful little tool or resource to have. I think what people have trouble with, especially if you're really a perfectionist, is what's the right statement to start with? What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? It's like, that's why I usually will be like, all right, I'll start it. But those even out statements, I think it's so big because our brains are constantly in conflict with what's right or wrong, or where we're making the wrong move. And when you do that tapping, all you're doing is just evening out. Okay, I'm hurt right now. I'm upset. And one thing that's really good about what Josh was saying, a lot of times people, depending on who they are as a person, and this doesn't mean they're bad, they would go straight to anger, right? Like, I'm fucking pissed, I'm angry. But usually anger is always basically rooted in hurt. You're usually angry because someone hurt you.
Yeah.
It's like, think about how angry you get when people drive bad.
Yeah.
You don't even get angry, huh, B?
I mean,
B doesn't even. I can see B like,
I definitely
freaking jerk. He won't even swear.
Moments, but generally no. But there have been.
But
moments.
why? Because they might hurt you.
Honestly, the most that I was is being in the car with my daughter, and that aspect of it, like someone driving crazy, and then me feeling like,
that's what I mean.
Protective, feel
like, dude,
yeah.
It's like when I used to teach at a school that it was elementary, middle school, and high school, so it's young kids, and I remember just being pissed, like with people driving fast out in front of the school where the kids are like walking across, like really, like, what are you doing, man?
Right. Like right here.
You serious? Like, especially here, because people are on vacation, they're not a part of the community sometimes, so they just drive crazy.
Careless.
Yeah. And even though you're angry, you're worried about someone getting hurt, which would hurt you. Really doesn't. I mean, that's not a selfish thing, but that's where it comes from. You're right. Fear turns to anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's really interesting when you think about it. So for you to go straight to like, I'm hurt, that's a lot of good work that you've already done to realize that. Because usually people sometimes have to tap like maybe 3 or 4 rounds till they say I'm hurt.
They get down to that. Yeah.
Now, one thing I'd add to that, Josh, and whoever's on the live stream, if you do the EFT, a couple of things that are interesting. Some people yawn. That means that there's trapped emotion. Some people start to cry. Some people start to breathe deep. That means it's working. That means that whatever that feeling you jarred loose is actually coming up now. And if you're in a emotional state, the tapping actually works better because you're going with the sadness or the anger or the things that you're upset about. And I would even add that like some people that are really calm and hold a lot in, sometimes having a session where you just say bad things that you really wanted to say for a long time go a long way. So Rob, thanks for throwing a yes. I stopped getting angry a minute ago. I figured it's a waste of my energy. I try to focus on the real emotions versus the cover emotion, anger. Sure. Mm-hmm. Isn't it funny how people get angry at different things? And some of the things someone else is angry at, you start to laugh. You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What are you so upset about? Is this... But like for me, politics, when people get really pissed about politics, mm-hmm. I don't vibe on. Mm-hmm. I kind of like, are you becoming president or are you making?
But I think most people with politics like have a surface level knowledge of a lot of the shit that's going on, and they get so angry. You know, like who's doing research all the time about all this stuff?
I think the biggest players, like news stations or YouTube channels that really go to town on politicians. I just want to know what's your body of work to make the world a better place. That's my number one question.
Right.
That's my number one question is like,
give me a list of things that you've done.
Yeah, that's my question. It's like, oh, you got this big platform or you're this person and you're just constantly throwing rocks. And like some of the politicians, I'm with you. They're not great, but it's like, do you want that job? If you're not going for that job, mm-hmm. then who are you to talk? It's just like being a teacher for years. Everyone that gets on, oh, teachers don't do this. It's like, do you want to be a teacher? Do you oh, that was roughly 10K worth of mental health does. Got me very involved in love with mental health. So I am all for learning more about it. Well, good for you, bro. Yeah. I mean, you're handling this situation really well. And that's a good investment because, yeah, maybe you spent 10K and maybe not all the things came together, but you got a little bit here, a little bit there from different people and got you on track. Fine. Brand new Skinner says, Mac, are you glad Poole is gone? You mean as in Jordan Poole?
Jordan.
Yes, I am glad. That's that was one of those situations where extremely overpaid and mm-hmm. a turnover waiting to happen. I mean, even when he was good, I didn't like his game. I thought he was a ball hog and turnover prone. And
definitely, yeah. I
think it's interesting when we're talking about basketball for a minute here on the live stream. So you guys can write anything you want about situationships, relationships, or your issues. Please put it in the comments.
Put it in there. Go ahead.
But like, really, when you look at the interesting thing about sports, because they keep stats, everything, baseball, basketball, football, mm-hmm. when the really good players at all the sports, when you look at their stats are consistent. It's like if you look at their stats, they're consistent. But it's interesting. There's some players that score a lot of points and their percentages, like their field goal percentage or their 3-point percentage is actually low. And they're just chuckers. They're flashy.
Harden.
They're flashy. He could be on there, but he does a lot of free throw. He gets a lot of free throws, but yeah. And it doesn't transfer over to winning. So Jordan Poole with the last 2 minutes left was just a nightmare. Like, and what happened to him at the end was, you're playing with some legendary people, and you're taking the last shot at the end of games, and you're just grazing rim. It's like, dude, you better make them,
or be damn close.
Yeah, you had to bring this up, huh, Skinner? It's like we just had a deep live stream. He's gonna throw that one in on me. Mm-hmm. But you know what? He in year 1 and year 2, he was really bad. Year 3, he really came on. Like he played well. Yeah, he played well. Yeah. He surprised me. He's a reason why they won the ring. That's why he got his money. But there's some reason that that Draymond Green decked him. I don't think he
There's
just.
something hidden that we don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a neat. I think that like Draymond Green is a jerk and stuff, and he's a highly. But has he punched someone that's a teammate, or even like they accused him of some dirty things, but he hasn't just laid someone out.
It'll come out like 20 years.
So I think that he wasn't like, hey, you know, like I think he was pushing him. I think he was pushing I think he was pushing his buttons with some word, like because even if you work somewhere, let's put it like this. And some client of mine was just talking about this, that it's like someone's new to the team or the new to the group, and they come in acting like they're, you know, so cool or already elevated to where you're at in your seniority. It's annoying. And so he only had 2 or 3 years, and the other guys are working 10 years. He gets his money, he starts talking shit. It doesn't
he didn't put in the body of work.
It just doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And that's what happened. I think many times that's a matter of control issues. And really, a lot of people have control issues, you know, want you to do what they want to do. Yes, when people start realizing the only thing they can control is themselves, it does help so much more than trying to control others.
Yeah, when you get angry and let other people affect your emotions, that's a form of control.
I mean, when you're in a relationship and you have kids, I think it's really difficult to just go, you know what, let's do it your way and let's be free. It's like there's certain things where you're gonna be like, no,
we're humans. Like
we're not letting her walk to school in the morning, or like there's certain things that you're gonna be non-negotiable on. That's what I feel like too. So it's you know, it's difficult. I think what people don't realize is that anyone you know that's been together for 30, 40, 50 years, I mean, they had a lot of problems, whether they are going to admit that. Now, there might be like some like 5 percentile.
The unicorn out there that's...
Yeah, there might be couples. Yeah, there might be some couples out there and they're like, oh, not Joan and Ron. They've been great, you know, forever. And it's like you find out later on that like
behind the scenes
they're swingers or something, you know, like you really don't know people.
Well, maybe that's that. That's what it was.
And people don't see the situation. I'll tell you,
it's kind of like Instagram or something. You know, you see the cool pictures and all the filters that they put on, but what's going on, you know, behind the scenes, you don't really know.
You don't know.
No.
So a lot of the, like I said, long-term relationships, they have all these problems. It's just someone gives in and forgives, and then someone doesn't. It's like I watched that movie Oppenheimer yesterday. So this is something relative to now. And this guy's like this, you know, genius physicist. And he wasn't a playboy, but he had multiple affairs. Surprise, surprise. Oh my God. Right. And he actually ended up marrying a woman that was already married when he started seeing her, but she got pregnant by him. So she divorced her husband because she got pregnant, who was older, and she didn't. It's funny because they're talking about when they start seeing each other, they saw each other at like a cocktail party. She's with an older man. And anyways, they stayed together the whole film. Like they got married, I think late 30s, mid 30s. So they had a couple kids. But the crazy thing is, this guy, by the way, the guy during this time he's married, he built the atomic bomb. Okay.
Genius.
I don't know. Later on, he didn't feel that way about himself because of what happened, right? But but I mean, keep this in mind. So he's building the atomic bomb. He's what I would say probably a workaholic in a lot of ways. Like this is definitely one of those cases when people are like, find your purpose. He fucking had one for a long time. It was building a bomb. It was being an academic, right? Research and all this stuff. Now, what was interesting in the movie was she was an alcoholic from the beginning. They had their first child.
The one that he married.
Yeah. Okay. So he marries her because she gets pregnant. She like from the get-go, she's an alcoholic. So he comes home one day after they had their kid that was, I don't know at the time, like 6 months or 3 months. And the baby's screaming in the background and she's downstairs drinking.
Just leaving the baby.
Yeah. And he's like, well, should you check on the daughter? And she's like, I've checked on him all day. And drinks her out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're just like, whoa.
All right.
Now, when I'm watching that, I'm like, bad wife, bad mom for kids, man. Now, a lot of guys would be like, oh, I'd divorced her. I'd be like this. He's like, okay, just calm down. Like to the wife,
Right.
he's like, all right, he's like looking around here. He's this physicist. He's this known guy. He's got his
Trying to
wife.
figure out the problem.
Yeah. He's trying exactly solution based. Yeah. And he goes over to a colleague's house that's a friend of his, and he takes the kid, and he goes, hey, can you just take Peter for a little while? And they're like, yeah, sure. Are you guys okay? And he's like, we're horribly selfish people, both of us. Because what he's saying is, I don't want to deal with the crying baby.
Right. And he's doing his
so he
job.
goes to a friend. The friend takes care of the kid, and the guy's like, yeah, no problem. And then he goes, can you take him for a while? And the guy's like, sure, okay. So like for 3 months, his wife just took a break, and his friend like watched the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now someone could get divorced over that. They stayed together. Then they go and move to this farm town where they're going to build the atomic bomb. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't want to live here, like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, she's drinking a flask of alcohol the whole time. Alone. And he's just driving the car like, okay, puts her in the house. All the while he has a couple mistresses, but they're married. All right. Mm-hmm. They have another kid. And then they're together. There was no part of the film in that beginning part of their marriage that they looked happy. But this is my wife. We have kids together. Right. Like, I'm not going to leave her. Mm-hmm. So he had one moment where one of his mistress, I don't even like saying the word mistress. That sounds so old. Mistress? What would you call it? Is there another word for mistress?
Well, I know what it is here.
Yeah, that's
what I use here.
Mistress. So his mistress kills herself in the name of him leaving her. Like, he went to her, he hooked up with her,
but didn't. Like,
he bangs her in a hotel and is like, "Hey, this is the last time I'll see you." By the way, after they've been together for like years off and on, right. She kills herself. Jeez. The wife knows about it. The wife stays with him. All right. So then the other part is
side piece. There we go. Side piece.
By the end of the movie, they're still together. They're married, and in the back of your head, you're like, "Damn, he stayed married to her," because she's a complete alcoholic. Every time you see her with the kid, she's got a cocktail in her hand in the daylight. Right? Wouldn't be my ideal, wife or anything like that. So at the very end, they're still together. This guy's being put on trial for like. For
McCarthy, it's a McCarthyism
for treason, communism, all this stuff. She's by his side 1,000%. When she gets interviewed, like about him, she's the best person to back him up, and she's the one like, you need to fight for this. So my point is, if you saw them after 30 years of marriage and grown kids, you'd be like, oh my God, they got a great. It's like. When you watch the movie, you're like, wow, they put out some pretty big fires, and they just
kept going.
Right. And like in the beginning of the part, I'm like, damn, man, she doesn't even want to take care of the kid. She's an alk. She's this. But that's real marriage. When someone's 30, 40 years, you don't see all the crap that they stuck it out. Do I think that that's good? I don't know.
Depends on.
It's like, I called it a love pension. It's like people work for a pension. They work 30 years. So for the rest of their life, they get $3,000 a month. And then when they get $3,000 a month, they're like, all right, I don't have to work again. I guess with the love pension, it's like you get to your 60s and 70s. It's like, all right, I don't have to go out there dating again. We're just going to
comfortable here.
We get to share all the stuff that we've built. Yeah. But guess what? It doesn't mean that they were, I don't know, they weren't on a honeymoon the whole time. So that was just an example of one relationship where everyone would go, oh, they were married 40 years. Yeah, but there's cheating, there's alcoholism, there's bad parenting. They stayed together. I don't know. So I think people have less patience with that now.
Society's different for sure.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because
obviously, I mean,
like even he had grown up or he had been teaching at Berkeley. I didn't know this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he taught at Berkeley. And you imagine if he was, like an alcoholic wife that doesn't want to take care of her kid now, it'd be like, okay, you guys need to go to therapy. You guys, she needs to go to an alcohol. They didn't have like
treatment facilities and stuff like that now.
That's what I mean. So like, it was just
deal with it.
Here's
basically.
more drinks for you, hun.
Right.
Relax.
Right.
And I just think that, you know, sometimes you look at the people that stay together long and you don't know
what really was going on.
who ate crap. Mistress, side piece. I like that. Yeah.
Side pieces. Yeah.
What's another term for mistress or side piece? I don't know. It's funny because you said that. I was thinking of the name we were thinking.
Yeah, you know.
Mistress. Sounds so 1920s. The Great Gatsby or something.
Yeah.
I've had a mistress, man.
Yeah. Alcohol was very normal back then, for sure.
But more like having control of your emotions and how you come about, how you okay, you said that. Absolutely, freaking lootly. And the problem with 90% of the Homo sapiens on this planet is they think it's supposed to be a damn fairy tale and don't want to actually do the work a relationship takes. I bet many of us would be surprised how much of a normal thing that was in the 40s and 60s. And I would say, though, that like the people that aren't up for fighting through that, okay. Just don't assume that when you see your friends, family, or colleagues in 40-year marriages that they're, you know, great.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I don't know. There's always, you know, it's tit for tat. Alcohol was very normal back then. Yeah, so were cigarettes. Everyone has a cigarette in the movie. Loyalty. That's what it was, too. Like, but he's also like, his job's first.
Right.
I enjoy the word mistress, though.
That's gonna have like a little saucy. I don't know.
It's got
it's
a mistress. Yeah, it's got a bit of a mistress going.
Right.
Hold on, I know how to fix this. Let's see here.
What are you fixing?
All right. So here's the thesaurus for mistress. Girlfriend? I don't think so. Paramour? I don't know what that is.
Paramour, yeah.
You know what a paramour is?
You've
Look
never heard that before? Come on.
You're
Come
lying,
on.
right? A paramour?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. What's a You've heard of that before?
Yeah.
You're lying.
100%.
Paramour, a sweetheart.
Yeah, like your love.
I know sweetheart. Courtesan.
Courtesan.
Courtesan. Do you speak French a little bit? Sweetie. A sweetie. A main squeeze. I like this one. Other women. An old lady. Have you ever heard this one before?
What?
Old lady.
Have I heard old lady before? Yeah.
My dad says that.
Yeah.
Guy's ex-old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, his old lady. Dream girl, best girl, bedmate. There's a good one.
Bedmate.
Sugar. Lady love. Chatelaine. That must be French. Chatelaine. Morada. I don't know what that is. There you go. There's the.
I think I like side piece at all those.
Oh, real classy. Oh, my side piece.
From Chaley.
It's like when people say, "Oh, side hustle." We
Yeah,
got a
it's your
little side hustle
It's
on,
your
huh?
side hustle. Come on.
I'll never understand women who get a man knowing that he is married and thinking they will get that man to leave their wife one day and have a white picket fence life with them. I literally cannot comprehend that way of thinking. Depends on the situation. I know I say that a lot, but I've had clients that are the mistress or bedmate.
You used it. I like it.
Yeah, are on the other end of those situations. And sometimes the wives are like, look, let's just stay married and you can have the girlfriend in the other place. To go to your title, sometimes an ex may not forgive if they're a narcissist because they refuse to let go of grudges. Even if they say they forgive, they only say it to move on for the time being. There you go. There you go. Narcissism. I know B's battled being a narcissist for years.
You think so? Have you pinpointed it?
being a recovering narcissist for the last 10 years.
You pinpointed me
He goes to narcissist meetings.
secretly. Yeah. Thanks for outing me, man. Thank you.
Now that narcissism's such a big deal, do you think that, like that there would be people that would a narcissist
Like,
admit
I'm a recovering narcissist.
Yeah, like Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, like this is Narcissist Anonymous meetings.
Possible? Can you?
You know what's funny is if they had a Narcissist Anonymous meeting, they would be like, who trusts anyone in this room?
Who's manipulating?
Yeah. Who believes any of the stories this person's saying, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I think in your case, you're not throwing it around, and I'm not saying that to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've told plenty of people that, but in your case, I think you got something there. And really, someone that's a narcissist, I think they're camouflaged better than people think. So you don't really know it till you're out of it. So when people are like, oh yeah, it's suspicious when people just go around, yeah, that's a narcissist. Yeah, it's like, okay, you kind of have to know their body of work first a little bit. Mm-hmm. They have an open relationship. My brother will never leave. Oh, okay. So my brother and wife got married at 20 and 21. I've been married for 16 years. They have an open relationship. My brother will never leave her for someone else and vice versa. Well, I think that's more common now than it used to be. I will say this.
That's polyamorous, right? Isn't that polyamory?
I guess the technical term. Yeah, I think that's going to be more common in the future. But I would say that you're opening yourself up to bringing a narcissist into the, like
that could
if you're, you're
fuck things up. Yeah,
it could work, but it also, someone could fall deeply in love with someone that's just. All right, for example, you got someone.
I guess poly is two. Like you have two. Okay, that's different.
Open relationship means you can see other people.
You're just like whoever.
Polyamorous means you have two girlfriends or three girlfriends.
Yeah.
She's like, no, open.
Open's just you can have sex with anybody, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, I think it's fine. I do think that I'm curious with an open relationship if.
We talked about this before, I think, on stream. I know. Okay, go ahead.
Who cares less? Like, all right. So who cares? Number one, who cares less about it? Like, is someone all in, or is the other person like, okay, if you want to? And who has more options? That's a big question,
Who's
right?
left holding the bag sometimes, right?
Who has more options in the like? Is it fair? Or are you guys? I don't know. There's a lot to that, but everyone to their own. Someone just told me recently that they had a sibling that they've been married, and that the sibling moved in a boyfriend, but the husband was okay with it.
Wait, so
yeah,
into the house?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now a lot of people from the outside are going to go, oh, that's. I'm like, if the husband agrees to it, here's the part you don't know. So from the outside in, you're like, oh my God, like I would never do that. And what, you might be judging the guy, you might be judging the woman, but here's what you don't know. Maybe the guy can't perform anymore because of a health thing. Mm-hmm. That's actually something he doesn't want to go tell everyone. Mm-hmm.
So there could be,
I don't know. Like there's always more to the story.
You don't know exactly.
So I mean, if that's how they're doing things and they agree on it, I think that you can do that. I think it would be difficult. I think that someone's going to get pissed.
Something's going to happen somewhere down the line.
But what we always do is we're like, I would never do that. So it must be crazy. But on the flip side, like I said, maybe the guy, maybe they're, maybe they're having fun with it. Open relationships only work if both their levels of trust are the same.
Right.
But what about this though, Josh? What are their levels of ability to get? Like if someone in that open relationship is better looking or in a job or a career that draws more attention.
They're pulling like 5 different people a month or whatever it is. And
like the guy has 5 extras and the woman only has 1, but like, it's almost like inviting, especially if they do dating apps, you're inviting a lot of random people around your house, unless you have some kind of, I don't know. There's all kinds of ways to go about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it sounds good on the surface, but then if that's really your, I don't know. I guess I just couldn't imagine being like, all right, go bang someone else, hon. It's all right, fine. Just take a shower before you come home and make sure you use a lot of soap. It's like,
yeah.
You can't.
Nah.
Oh, show me his picture. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he seems like a striking lad. Wow.
Striking.
I haven't, don't know if I would really want, but I never say never. Never say never is correct, hon. I'm with you. And like I said, if I was talking to someone in an open relationship, I would be curious, like, how does it work for you guys? Like, what do you do? I wouldn't be like, oh, you're crazy. Maybe it makes sense after you tell me what it is. Personally, no, I couldn't do it. We've had someone join us a few times, but it definitely turned bad. There you go.
See, you found out.
Some things you don't want to try because like things like that, I think that
it's a hard comeback from. Like, you can't sometimes get back from that.
I mean, I haven't done it, but I've heard of people doing it, and that I don't know, some things, some parts of that are crazy. I don't know. Like Charlie said, it's based on the rules or the boundaries they've set. There you go.
Yeah. And sticking to them, making sure that they're not broken.
Oh man, we lost the rest of the chat. We got 11 on deck. Does anyone have any closing questions before we go here? Polyamory, excuse me. Polyamory is actually having relationships outside or together with your partner.
Right,
it's
like
more
you're
than just sex.
You're like a unit, right? Isn't it? I'm new to this, but isn't it? Aren't you like the?
Don't play like that. Come on, man.
Oh,
just tell the truth. This is about being truthful. You were in a polyamorous relationship for about
6 months. But it's like a real relationship with multiple people, right? That's what I'm guessing. I don't know.
There you go. All right. Thanks for letting me know that. Polygamy is still definitely a thing here, which means multiple wives. Oh, you're going to look it up? Yeah. B's going to look it up here.
Yeah, so just having a relationship with multiple partners. That's basically it.
And I have friends who are raised in polygamous families. Okay. Sure, it can work. I'm sure it can work. I guess those all go together. I feel like my ex is very spiteful and revengeful, rebound on top of the narcissism. Yeah, that's polygamy was originated forever ago by LDS.
The Mormons.
Well, there's other groups that have done it, so.
But I think, the Latter-day, weren't they?
But there's other,
I guess
if you think about it, like
sure
royal families.
I'm sure it's since the beginning of time. Somewhere.
Yes, since the beginning, like
somewhere.
So it's interesting about the rules of marriage and all that, because it seems like the people at the top cheat the most, probably. Mm-hmm. Like politicians, kings, queens. Am I wrong?
The
like
power.
Major bosses at work. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. People that have the ability to do so seems to be. Church, because there were more women than there were men, and so that happened so that women could be supported and still be married. That makes sense. Yeah. Take me to that island. It's like, careful what you wish for, huh? Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was a reality show about this somewhere. I don't know where I saw
about
it.
more women
Yeah,
than
like
men.
well, no, about like a Mormon family or something that was.
I'll tell you this: like, if
statewide.
there's the interesting thing is if there was an island that had, let's say, 10 men, and there was 100 women.
Several, yeah.
Do you think that this is an interesting question to ask? Because people always say, "Oh, the 6 foot thing," and all like, and there's like you're on this island, and there's not the status that's built into, like a money and a car and all these things
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's a different game, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the guy that would be the most pursued would be the one that could get the most meat. No pun intended, but like that would be able to like be the most useful and resourceful.
The best hunter.
It would be interesting, but all 10 of those guys would be seeing a lot of action.
Well, isn't that what they say? Like,
Well, I'm just saying like that, like they would become more and more attractive to the women if they were the only options.
Yeah. Just those guys.
And interestingly enough, if there was only, this would be bad though, if there was 90 guys and 10 women, there'd be a lot of fighting, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. There might be fighting on the other way around, huh? There'd be a lot of guys fighting though, I think.
There would be a lot. I mean, just the
Don't you think?
testosterone going around.
Yeah,
there would be a
dude.
lot of fighting. For sure.
SLC Punk? I don't know what that is.
That's a movie.
Actual polygamous colonies. The men have pretty
Matthew
much
Lillard, yeah,
all of
that's
the
who it is.
control.
Yep.
The sequel sucked, but Matthew Lillard is amazing, so I loved it, the first one. I mean, I'm sure it can work.
I liked him in Hackers. That was a good movie.
I'm sure it can work. Be a lot of work, though. A lot of energy.
Yeah. Like, what else are you doing?
Tell you what, though, one guy that always looked extremely happy. I don't know if it was facial surgery or not.
What?
Huh?
Facial surgery? Well, okay.
To me, I've never seen all right, see if you guys can guess who I'm talking about. Have you ever seen someone that can look happy or smile? When I say smiling, like a genuinely happy smile or face all the time in the public eye. And anytime I've seen the guy, he's got like a 70% grin on his face all the fucking time. He's passed away.
All the time.
Oh, it's always just like this. It's like if you hung out with someone like that, he's like, fucking get your smile off your face, man. Say this all, he's like, the cheeks are up.
You say an actor? You said?
No, not an actor. It's funny because if I say the word, I gave it away.
Oh, okay. What does it have to do with like New Year's?
What?
Like, was he on TV like a host, like a New Year's like Eve type of host?
He might have been a New Year's host before. What's the name you're thinking of?
Dick Clark or something?
Oh, that could be one. I mean, that's not who I'm thinking of, but yeah. I mean, that could be facial surgery too.
Good knowledge right there. No.
I mean,
I don't know.
Anyone else? Anyone else think of someone that always looks like they're in a good mood or happy every time they're interviewed or every time they're... I mean, I've never seen the guy without a grin. Never.
But not an actor.
No, he's not an actor. But he knows a lot of movie stars. Like I said, he passed away. But if I almost said the word, it would give it away.
Is he a director?
No, he's not a director. You want me to give you a hint? If I give you a hint, it'll give it away probably. He had a magazine.
Okay.
You still think
was it a Salacious magazine?
Kinda.
Okay. Is he the first one to make this type of magazine?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Who? Oh, you know who it is? You're not going to say
I'll let
it.
you.
Does he always have a grin on his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's got this one, huh? I guess he's kind of out now because he passed away.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. Hugh Hefner's got it. Yeah, like always got a big grin on his face. Might have been because he lived to like 91 or something, I think.
But he was popping Viagra's like crazy too, man.
How do you know?
You ever see him? He was like the spokesperson.
Really?
Yeah, he was like
with a smile.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the.
I mean, you got to keep up the persona, and all that stuff.
Whatever. So, but I mean, he always had. It must be over there.
Yeah.
He always had a big grin on his face all the time. Looks like he's in this incredible mood. And the ironic thing is, if you know a little bit about his story, not all of it, he actually went in the military. I don't think he was in a specific war. I can't think of it. But he went away to the military, like most men probably in the 30s or 40s. I don't know what years. And then he had a wife, if I'm correct, or a girlfriend that admittedly cheated on him. So he was upset about that, but to compensate that, she allowed him to be a playboy.
So that's what
she allowed him to cheat.
Oh, okay.
And so he immediately had mistresses and bedmates after that. It's kind of interesting, huh? Like if you look it up on Wikipedia, I think they tell that story. But
it's kind of like
so he got, and he was upset, like he was hurt by it.
And they stayed together?
I don't think they stayed together for long, but I don't know that part. They definitely didn't stay together because he had a bunch of.
But I mean, I don't know what happened to her. Like he lived for a long time.
So I think they eventually divorced, and then another thing about his. No, a little bit of Playboy trivia here. Another thing about his how he really got started, it's pretty bad because he took a Marilyn Monroe picture, and then he did a series of like nude shots of Marilyn Monroe that the magazine didn't take
without her
No, so like the way I understand it, and I could be corrected because someone might be listening to this live stream out of the 100 or 200 people that listen that will be like, no, we got the story wrong. But as far as I know or read about, he didn't own or take the pictures. He bought the rights to the pictures from some other photographer that had taken the pictures, which is pretty fucked up.
Right.
And then made her the centerfold. So she didn't, she didn't
took off with that.
That's the way I understand it. Right. And he did the same thing to Vanna White. Like Vanna White, from
the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, like she had taken some provocative pictures,
and he bought them, and
put them in the. And she was like, "Why are you doing this?" I don't know if you could even do that now. I don't know if that would be legally okay, or if that's
you sign your image over to. I think you. I mean, who knows legally?
But that's supposed like so he used that as the first edition.
Interesting.
Because she was the most iconic.
There's actually a Black Mirror episode. Do you know Black Mirror? Have you watched it on Netflix?
Yeah, I've been told about it. We've talked about it on the live stream times.
The current one, the AI,
the one that I was told to watch because I was telling everyone, I was telling someone in the live stream about if you could record everything.
Oh yeah, that's
the one where they have the video and the guy keeps replaying.
I think that's one of the first season.
Yeah,
that's.
And she says, he's like, so. Could you imagine?
Like rewind all your.
Could you imagine you get cheated on, right? Take away pictures, texts, or anything like that. That's tough as it is, and you're like, everyone has a video camera in their eye, so you show your video and everything, and you're telling your girlfriend like pull up when you guys were hooking up. It's like whoa,
like you're in the moment, like right there. That's crazy.
It's funny you brought that up because it's been brought up.
There's
on
a
the
new
live
one.
stream.
There's a new one that like the actress I think is Selma Hayek plays this character.
I liked her when she was young.
She's good. And
fools rush in.
Basically, what I won't give away if someone's seen it, but she signs away her image to like Netflix, whatever it's called in the show, and they use her image like as an AI. in more episodes without like, because she already signed, so they make her do crazy stuff, and it's kind of crazy. But basically it's like, oh, I signed my image away to this company, now they have the rights to do basically whatever they want with it, you know, kind of like what Hugh did.
That's what
what I'm saying. It's like,
it was kind of a, I don't know, that sometimes people get to the top in different ways, but it was, anyways, I think that stuff like that probably has been done many times, but you would hope that she got paid, but he's paid plenty of other people.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Got on my dad. Okay. It's always good to have someone that has a little nostalgia. All right, we got 13 on deck. Does anyone have any questions about relationships, breakup situations? You can go ahead and
fire them off.
Go ahead and throw them in the comments. If you have anything you want to bring up or talk about, we definitely can get into it. Petty Betty's been pretty quiet on this front. I hope you're doing well, hun. Funsois, Rob IS, Brand New Skinner,
Chaley.
And then it came out later on about Hugh Hefner that he actually took advantage, or, you know, these kinds of things. And a lot of his friends or people that knew him were like, oh, it's not out, you know.
It's not as kind of like what we were saying. It's not.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that
behind the scenes,
if you're going to have salacious, crazy parties, you know, for 45 years, I'm sure there were some situations that weren't cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's like when you meet.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But like, you're full-time partying for like 40. Usually people have like a fucking stop off where they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm not. It's like Hugh Hefner just pushed it into gear in like his 50s. Like,
or do you ever meet someone that's met a celebrity and they're like, oh, they're an asshole, I hate them. But it's like, okay, you met him for 10 seconds, you know, like.
I don't know. When people usually say that, it's like, well, you're probably one of 1,000 that's went up to him for some tacky photo or handshake. And I mean,
you don't really,
but they're probably annoyed. I would be annoyed if random people came up to me and were like, can I take it? I have friends that visit Thailand and want to take a picture every 10 minutes. I'm like, can we please stop?
I mean, that's got to be one of the, you know, huge drawbacks.
If you're famous, they just got to,
got to deal with it.
It wouldn't be fun. I don't think it would be.
That's got to be the worst. One of the worst parts. I mean, maybe
you also, like, if you're famous, you can't trust people.
Right.
That they really like you or they really want to help you. They're going out of their way to.
It's funny. My grandma, like, we lived in the Bay Area, right? And so she went up to, I think, Joe Montana at the time or someone for an autograph, I think for my dad. And he didn't trust that she was not going to like sell it, you know, she was going to sell the autograph or do something, you know? So I'm sure they get this kind of stuff all the time. Actors, athletes, you know, or what are your intentions here? What are you doing with this autograph or picture, or, you know, whatever. So,
I mean, if I had to do it now, I probably would. If I had a kid or something, I would probably just buy the 8x10s and autograph them myself. Yeah. This one's from Michael Jordan, man. Best wishes.
It's probably the one hanging in my room or something. Autograph my dad.
Because it really, like, when you really think about it, it's like collectible stuff. And I used to love collectible stuff.
Yeah, well, like, especially when you're a kid.
Baseball cards, autographs, whatever. It's like when you look about it, what a thing to create value in, or create some kind of, I don't know. And I'm not giving people problems that collect things.
I love that shit. I mean, I haven't bought anything in a really long time, but I still
just
like
grew
it.
out of it. I wouldn't ask anyone for an autograph. I wouldn't buy an autograph.
No, I don't think I've ever asked.
I wouldn't buy an autograph from anyone. Is there anyone's autograph that you would want?
No.
Fred Couples. Freddie Couples.
No, I'll play around. That would be fun. That would be way better.
And then afterwards, you'd be like, can you sign one of the balls?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not that way.
But like and why would you think, like, you were a kid, you wanted autographs, right?
Yeah, when I was a kid, for sure. And just the memorabilia of it, of like having a jersey or something.
I remember when I was a kid, the biggest one I got was Ricky Henderson. Went to a baseball card show. He's my favorite player. I was like 8 or 9. And it was back then, I think it was like $40 or $50. but there was a
Right.
line,
Right.
and he was signing autographs, right? And I remember I had an 8x10 photo, and I had a baseball, and he was like, "You can only do one." I was like, "Okay." Like, all right, fine. I'll do the baseball. It's like, that's what a cheap fucking thing for $50. You're signing your name.
Right.
Now I look at it, but I'm like,
Mhm.
it wasn't even, you know what I mean? It was like,
Mhm.
and it was like, oh yeah, you got this, you got this autograph. It's like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness.
But for kids, I mean, all right, that's cool.
But why have we, I mean, I don't know. Do you think like
I don't know.
Native American tribes asked their chiefs for autographs or anything, or like societies did that? Who invented that would be a good question.
They probably blessed them or something.
Who invented autographs?
Signing of things. I don't know.
Did you know that there was some lady, and I don't know the logistics of this. You probably know more about it than I do with all your vast knowledge. You know a lot of stuff. You know, like a lot of carnal knowledge. Random random.
Stuff,
yeah. And so you tell me if you know about this one, because I don't know a whole lot. What's up, Ricardo? All right, I'm going to get to Ricardo's question. Let me just mention this really quick, Ricardo, and then I'll get to your question.
Yeah, before
I think you've emailed me before too, Ricardo. And anyone else that wants to put in the comments a question,
drop it.
But there was a woman that went around casting, like when you can cast someone's hand.
Yeah, like a replica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's casting dicks.
Casting. Oh, now I see. Okay, carnal knowledge. Okay. She was casting dicks here. Okay.
That's what she did.
Like her job?
Yeah, like so you look at collectibles like autographs.
Oh, she was
for famous people. For famous people.
Right.
Like you look at autographs and different things that people collect, and her prized possession was Jimi Hendrix.
A casting of Jimi Hendrix dick. Wow.
Like when I say cat, like is that what it's called when you put it in some kind of plaster?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
that's
an interesting collectible, huh?
New knowledge. Thank you.
That's an interesting collectible. I thought you might know this. All right, Ricardo, my ex hasn't reached out yet. 25 days, no contact, still in pain. I'm the friends with benefits video you made a couple weeks ago. I say stay in no contact, man. If you're still in pain, then it's not time to that's actually a really good detector. Me and B were just talking about this. I'm going to put together possibly a survey where you could answer, 25 questions if you should stay in no contact or not and get an answer for $5. Because sometimes like the set of questions that I tell you, like if you're still in pain, don't contact them because you're going to be awkward, anxious, uncomfortable. Your feelings are going to get out in front of it and make it a bad scene. I did email, no word from her yet. I've been walking 20 miles I've been walking 20 miles every day for 2 weeks. You're not exaggerating a little bit, are you? 20 miles a day? Damn. Send her a picture of your calves. Keeps my anxiety down and listening to relationship videos to keep me no contact. Good, man. I do remember your story. And that was one of those cases where it wasn't about you. She had she doesn't want to be in a relationship right now. All right, bud, take care.
Later, guys.
She doesn't want to be in a relationship right now. So you can't do anything about that. And the way you ended it, it kind of scared her away that you got a little bit needy at the end. And so that needs to, 50K steps plus. Well, good for you, dude. Good for you. So you're listening to relationship videos. I'm just curious, who's your go-to relationship videos right now? What's one or two of the videos that you really like that's really helped you? I'm just curious. How much Scorpio do you have in your chart, Ricardo? Because it's in your birth certificate, and really, if you don't have your birth certificate, you have nothing. Think about how I'm reading this backwards here. Wow, Jerry Rice. Big fan of Jerry Rice. I've actually seen Jerry Rice in person in the Bay Area, and I didn't go up to him. I think stick with your 20 miles a day, listen to relationship videos, and also book a session with myself, and we'll get a little deeper on the tapping, and maybe we'll do some hypnosis, and maybe that'll clean some things up for you. But I wouldn't contact her back for the way things ended. I think you're doing really well at 25 days, so stick with it. If you're still in pain and you're still thinking about it, that's okay. Honor that. I like a video called "We Don't Chase, We Attract" Topic X. I had a coaching with him too, and often Craig Kenneth. Okay, how did it go? So the video "We Don't Chase, We Attract." Oh, the video's called the video channel's called Topic X. Okay. It's funny how that's a kind of a stage when people are in no contact or in a breakup that, you watch a lot of videos. For me, it's 2:41 p.m. Topic X is the channel. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check that out. Good name. He said the same things you said, but in a better way. It's all about packaging. You're saying that Craig Kenneth said the same things as me, or Topic X? But he said never break no contact, that she has to reach out if I want a relationship. So when I give advice about no contact, what I like to do, even if I believe to never break no contact, to me, I like you to entertain the idea of breaking no contact because it creates a little bit more flexibility. So I'll say to you, all right, if you want to break no contact, or if you were to break no contact, what's your reasons? What's your intentions? Because a lot of times when I do that, you'll talk your way out of or into no contact, rather than me just telling you never can contact it again. Now, some people, if the authority figure is big enough, such as someone like Craig Kenneth, who has a big following, if they tell you something to do and you're the type of person that like, all right, this person's the holy grail of breakup advice, maybe you'll do it. For me, I like you to entertain your choices and come to the conclusion on your own and be reassured by that. Because I might say to you, well, go ahead and break no contact, but what do you think? Think about the consequences of going back to ground zero. But he said never break. Okay. There you go. Well, that's good. It seems like it was a positive chat. You guys aired it out a bit. I'm confused. Why would you say hello, Ricardo? I feel she wanted to go at her pace, and yes, she did feel smothered. You see, an avoidant will always have a wall up for protection and have to feel in control of any situation. When they feel you're climbing that wall without permission, they will build it higher and retreat to their safer place. That's why you going in no contact will give her a distance that she needs. So you doing the absolute right thing. That's what he said. Okay. Cool. That's a good metaphor. Oh, you spoke to Topic X, not Craig. I got you, bud. I don't use attachment theory a lot because I think it can get a little cloudy, but she was definitely an avoidant. I would agree with that. That was a clear-cut case of that. I think the hard part that people get lost is, you're trying to figure out why she's an avoidant. or why she doesn't want to work on that when you had such a good thing. I think that's where you're frustrated. So what happens is sometimes someone gives you this advice, but they don't give you a little bit more context. That's why with my clients, we get a little deeper. We go an hour and a half, 2 hours, a little bit longer, because sometimes we can play out some things. Because right now, I don't think your problem is, I think you know that she's an avoidant. You know that her wall's up. What you want to know is like, why won't she get help with it? Why won't she work on a relationship that was pretty good? And you're not going to ever know the exact reason, but and that's the interesting thing, Ricardo. This is some advice. Like, so someone takes all right, let me take a moment to gather. Someone's an avoidant, right? All right. So this is this blanket term. And like I said, I don't like using these a lot in breakups, but in your particular case, she's a textbook, because it's a textbook term, avoidant. The reason I don't like using them is sometimes people can be situationally different. So she might be in different situations, change from avoidant to an anxious, or a change to secure. She seems like, from what you told me, she's not an insecure person. She just has a wall up and she doesn't know what it's from. If I talk to her, or a therapist talked to her, I'd probably figure it out after 2 or 3 sessions, or a 2 or 3 hour talk. She probably had her first or second relationship was really controlling or abusive or traumatic, or her parents' relationship was like that. And then that's how she built the avoidant attitude. So you go from avoidant to why avoidant. All right, these things have happened in her life. Tic-tac-toe. Now, the interesting thing about labeling someone avoidant is the recipe and the ingredients of life experiences that create the person being called an avoidant are always different. Think about that. So you're like, oh yeah, avoidant, avoidant, avoidant. But what made them avoidant is always different. So, and you're not going to figure that out because she wasn't willing to divulge that. She wasn't willing to go there. And so for you, you just have to accept, all right, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything to the best of my ability. At the end, I was a little needy. I might have been a little annoying, but I let that go. And now I'm learning what it's like to be with someone like this. And it's not my fault. Right? And at the same time, you guys had good intimacy. And if she wanted to come back, I think she was attracted to you. All right. So beyond, oh, she's just an avoidant. From what you told me, being that you guys were intimately good together and you were like that till the end, then there's a chance. But you definitely do have to leave it alone. She doesn't want a relationship, period. From what I remember, she was very clear about that, thinking that you are going to change something that someone clearly tells you. Like, to be honest, if you're in a relationship with someone like that, you almost have to be more, all right, you don't want a serious, like, you have to go with the river rather than against it. And that's still not a great thing to do. She needs to want to figure out why she's like that. And really, maybe deep down, she knows what the trauma is, or the gatekeeper is, as they say, but she just doesn't want to go there yet. And it's not your responsibility to force her on that. And let me add one part to this, Ricardo. And this is what I go on. Multiple clients and multiple situations and different breakups and different relationships. A similar one like this that I've had in the past client that came to me to talk. She came back like 8 months later. She was a classic, like you said, avoidant. She pulled the plug on him really quick. But she was a little bit more honest in the sense that, like, she had a bad relationship prior to him and she was still in that relationship somewhat. But she came back like 8 months later. They hooked up and talked, and then she just did the same thing again. So the interesting thing is, even if what I'd like to add to this about the no contact, most likely, even if you got her back, and when I say got her back, I don't mean writing a letter, writing an email, or calling her, because that's not going to work. I'm saying she comes back to you, you guys date, you're casual, you're cool, you're pretty confident, and you guys hook up and you guys start something again, fresh. The same thing will probably happen. She's in her 30s, I believe you told me. So it's like no contact right now is for you not to get her back. It's for you to just move on and move forward. Because this kind of a relationship, it'll probably repeat the same pattern again, even if you start it over. She said one day, I'm feeling bad seeing you on my couch. I'm thinking couch, not coach. Weekly hoping one day we will go outside, hang out, or be more. And I don't know if that day will ever come. Well, that's her controlling the situation. I'm feeling bad. So don't, as a man, you should be like, well, don't feel bad for me. You don't ever want to be in a relationship where someone feels bad for you unless you're hurt or you lost a loved one. Feeling bad because you're on the couch and you're present with someone that you've been intimate with, it's a bit twisted. And the idea that she's in control, well, you're hoping. If I was told that, I would honestly, and I'm not you, I'd respond, well, don't worry, hun. You don't have to feel bad for me, and you don't have to hope for that one day. I'm fine right now, right here. Like, I'm fine just hanging out with you like this. And if you want to be friends with benefits, I'm cool with that. That's how you would treat an avoidant like that. You wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, maybe one day, maybe one day. I knew after that was a matter of a tint before she would leave me. Well, I mean, you were friends with benefits, so you never really got left in her eyes. That's where you, friends with benefits, you never really got the message that she's friends with benefits, but you're saying, I agree to be friends with benefits, but I think we're more. So you agreed to that, but you really weren't on par. And it's like someone a while back was like, oh, we're kind of dating. What does kind of dating mean? You're either dating or you're not dating. I'm not going to sit there and piss on that guy's happiness. I knew this guy's, oh, we're kind of dating. It's like, what does that mean? That means to me that you want to be official and you want to tell everyone you're dating. Well, when she's like, we're not official and we never will be. Now, there's different reasons for not being official. Whatever those reasons are, don't take them personal. Don't take them personal. Don't ever think, oh, I did something wrong. Just go back to that statement. Now, let's, like I said, you perceive that as, oh, it won't be long before she leaves me. I would perceive that as, well, don't feel sorry for me. I'm not hoping for one day to go outside and hang out. I'm fine hooking up and having dinner with you tonight and having the option to meet other women. That actually works for me too. If you couldn't say something similar to that, then you were a part of the inevitable, because what she wanted was a casual friend relationship, never to be elevated. Now, you can be in friends with benefits that grow to be something special. She also said she spoke to her mother about us and didn't know yet what she wanted from us. And then she said if she ever came to the conclusion I wasn't the guy for her future, then we couldn't be friends with benefits forever. That's why I was confused. She's controlling the whole relationship. Don't do me, like, at some point you go, hey, don't do me any favors. I'm fine with being friends with benefits, and I'll be fine with it, and maybe I'll leave first. That's the way I would look at it. I'm not going to sit here like, oh, put me in, coach. Maybe make me one of the starters pretty soon. And that's a telling thing that she had to ask her mother as an adult. So I would guess that her mother's, not happy with most of the people she's with. Set for hijacking the video, by the way. No problem, Ricardo. It's all right. You've sent in your story before. It's all right, bud. I hope that makes sense, what I just said. But don't take this shit personal. This was one relationship. This is how it transpired. It's just like you have friendships, right? Let's break it down like this. You're a cool dude, Ricardo, right? Or you got friends. I don't know. You got friends, right? You have different relationships with different friends. You have different relationships with different cousins, siblings, your parents. You probably have a different relationship with. And That's okay. You know those relationships. Your intimate relationships, your friends with benefit relationships are going to be nuanced. They're going to be a little bit different. And in this particular one, you're still trying to figure out what went wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. She just was never, you were on two different wavelengths. You took it as like, oh, we're elevating towards official. She took it as, I don't ever want to be official. She's scared of that pond. And that's okay. I think overall she got bored of the indoor routine twice a week and felt she was wasting time being there when she could be looking for a guy she really likes. I think means I don't know, and I don't even like that narrative. I would scrap that narrative right there because that doesn't serve you. That would make me feel bad. If I was to say, oh, I think she got bored of indoor routine and she felt she was wasting time being there when she could be looking for a guy she really likes. Number one, she really liked you. She had you in her home. She had intimate intercourse with you that you said was good. She liked you. Okay. That might be one of the reasons she pushed you away, because she's uncomfortable when she starts to like someone too much. That's something you're not going to fix. The idea that, oh, she could be looking for a guy she really likes. No, she liked you. Don't get that twisted. Women don't have guys over 2 times a week. Anyways, I'll stay in no contact and see if she ever comes around. All right. Change that narrative, though. She didn't, a guy she really likes, she liked you. It's guys that she likes scare her. That's something that avoidants have. It's not bored. You were in a game you weren't going to win. So play another game. And right now, doing the 20 steps or the 20 miles a day, great job, dude. Great job. Excellent. All right, we got 9 on deck. We almost went 2.5 hours today. Anyone else have any questions, situationships, comments? Petty Betty, what happened to you? Sam, hope you're doing well. Francois was on for a little cameo. Rob IS came in just for a high all. Define trying to coming back. I'm just curious. Define, if someone's ex is coming back, did they contact you to see how you're doing, or are they really, like, how are they trying to come back? That's a calling me every day. He works out of town. Okay. I always think it's interesting when someone's like, "Oh, my exes always come back." I'm not saying that about you, but there's some people, oh, they always come back to me. To get back with you officially, or just to hook up? Well, there you go. That sounds like the interest is high. Thanks for sharing, Ricardo. Appreciate it, bud. I'm glad you made 25 days of no contact. Congratulations. That's an achievement. That's a difficult thing for a lot of people to do, and it'll only get better from here. Just curious, did you include social media on the no contact? I mean, how many people I know that do no contact, but they still stay linked through social media? Oh, I never would have thought it would be flipped. Yeah, the tables have turned. It happens. It definitely happens. Well, whenever someone calls, it's kind of a turnoff. It's an interesting thing about getting back together is that the stars got to line up, and you both have to be in situations where the timing's right. And timing is underrated. There's times when people are not in a position to have a relationship due to finances, work, school, those kinds of things. And then they have to choose what comes first. Anyone else got a question out there? A topic you want me to touch on in the next few days? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. Good for you, Ricardo. That's a big one, bud. A lot of people don't do that, and it's, it's literally making things 10 times worse. To be in, I think being in no contact, but following them on their Instagram or Facebook or Snapchats, if you vanished and went no social media, you just made your no contact way more powerful. Really, I'm being honest. Like, if you add that to it, because that's how they'll track you too. So if you go off that, they're kind of like, where did they go? They have to really, because they'll check in on, even though she was the one that kind of broke it off with you, if you fall off a cliff and you're nowhere to be found, you don't contact her, and she can't even find you on social media, that makes the heart grow fonder and make them think about what you've been up to. So well done, my friend. She is best friend with my cousin wife. I'll be seeing her one day. Well, don't worry about that one day. For now, you're doing a really good job. And the way you left it, now that you just completely radio silence, no social media, excellent. Well done. Well played. Well played. Because a lot of people don't do that. They go no contact, and then they stalk the other individual. They look at their pictures, and they just keep triggering themselves. Anyone else before I wrap this thing up? No doubt she liked you. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. And that might be, ironically, the reason why she pushed you away. And that's the signs of someone that's avoiding. That's why it's so difficult for you to deal with right now. But just leave it alone. It's all right, man. Have you smothered other women before? Like, when I say smothered, I mean, so if you believe you're an anxious, was it amplified that you were anxious because of the situation, or because you've always been anxious? Because right now, that's what I would say. Work on that as an individual, because anxious attachments are susceptible to being with avoidance. They're not good matches, but they're susceptible to that. So thanks, Shaylee. My poker face is good. Ironically, I don't like playing poker. B that was just here likes poker. I don't like poker. I just never had the patience for it. And I like to talk a lot. So when I've played it, the times I've played it, it feels like it's serious. Sometimes I like to joke around. So I don't know. I never had the patience for it. By the way, if you were smothering her, you'd be the one sitting on her lap. Not vice versa. You'd be the one cooking her dinner. You'd be the one, you know what I mean? So give yourself some credit. You weren't that bad. All right, folks, this has been good. It's been grand. I appreciate you. Ricardo, I wish you all the best. Keep it going, bud. 20 miles a day. No contact. 25 days. Congratulations. Chaley, thank you. I love poker. Played for 20 years. Dealt professionally off and on for 13. Wow, that is professional. I'm impressed. I've had a friend that was in that. It was a poker dealer, and he really liked that as a job or career. They call it a pit boss, too. He did. What else we got on here? Cardo, Chaley. Josh, who? Thanks for coming on. Wish you all the best. I mean that sincerely. I said before. Let's see here. I did smother before. I tend to go to their house, drive the car, sleep at their house. It's all. I don't know if that's smothering, bud. I need to build a better life because I believe women need to come around my life too. But I didn't smother the other ones this much because this one was an avoidant. Yeah, well, maybe you're not anxious. I'll take your money. Oh, B, that's B that was just on. He's the poker player. All right. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Thanks for riding with us today. Thanks, B, for joining. I appreciate you, bud. We'll get on another one in the next week or two, maybe in the next day or two. Take care. Curtains.